WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. The biggest games, the biggest rivalries, all right here, live. You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week pregame show, brought to you by Mr. Chubby's Wings on ESPN 690, ESPN690.com, and on Facebook at ESPN 690 Jax. Here's Brent Martineau.
We're getting to mid-October in high school football, and that means district matchups could determine a lot, like this one here tonight in the backyard. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan. Columbia High School travels to Lee High School to take on the Generals, and that one coming up in just a couple of moments here on our Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show. Good matchup between these two schools going way back into the Gateway Conference, Coach.
Yeah, they had a long history way back in the day now, early on. But they've been – it's sort of funny talking to Coach at Lake City. He said that Brian Allen said that it didn't matter. They went to 7A a couple of years ago, then Lee went to 7A, and then they came back to 6, and then Lee came back to 6. So it's they've had a familiarity with each other the last couple of years, but Lee's come out on top 3 of the 4.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, Columbia might be one of the best teams in the state right now. They are. They're top 5. They might be the best team in the area, but Lee's had their numbers. So this one's circled on the calendar for the Tigers for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt. And this is always a big game. Again, they got stuck in the district, but they knew coming in that this is going to definitely be the playoff for night district championship.
Columbia, we saw them in the opener against Trinity Christian. They put a whooping on the Conquerors, and they are a little banged up, but they still have Jordan Smith, and he makes them go. Man,
he is fun to watch. He'll be fun to watch, but they've had a couple guys emerge. Of course, everybody knew Marquez Bell, but number 8, Lynerick Bradley has really come on and given them a spark offensively. Play some running back, play some slot, play some wide out. So they're not just sort of one-dimensional with one guy. Everybody thought they only had Bell coming out.
I was talking to Brian Allen this week, and he sounded like he had just got his doctorate and was going into practice or something because Jaden Williams, clavicle. Noah Ruiz, torn ACL. Jace Hosky, receiver, clavicle. Amari Farrell, he's done with a shoulder. Tarek Pons, ACL, and he was awesome in that first game of the year. Remember him. Dalen Lumpkin has a shoulder injury. I mean, the list goes on and on. They'll get some of these guys back for the postseason, but they are banged up, so they're getting this done anyway. Some of the leadership they have on the football team, the fantastic play of Jordan Smith, and then on the other side of things, the Lee Generals. O.J. Small's done such a good job with this program, but they've had some that they would like back, and even more recently, the one against Ribault a couple of weeks ago, they made some big-time mistakes. They thought they should have been able to win that football game.
Yeah, well, anytime you turn it over 3 times, it lead to not talking about leading the scores, but worse scores from the defensive side of the ball. It's going to be hard to overcome. They still had a chance late in that game to come back. But the funny thing is they've had 8 turnovers in the 2 losses that they've had, and they've had 2 in the other 4 wins.
Yeah,
so that's always, they got to take care of the ball tonight. I'm really looking forward to tonight, Brent. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, we're going to take a timeout on our Mr. Chubby's Wings pregame show. Shortly coming up is kickoff in the backyard. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, the Columbia High School Tigers, the Lee High School Generals. We're moments away from a big one on our Action Sports Jax Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Coming to Jacksonville. Oh, hey, it's Mike Golick. We'll be in town for the Georgia-Florida game and want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works.
To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Tonight's pregame show is sponsored by Mr. Chubby's Wings. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go before the game, during the game, and after the game. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jax. Thank you for making ESPN 690 the fastest growing sports station in Jacksonville. Everyone is loving our in-depth coverage of the Jaguars, the NFL, and all things sports. Another thing our listeners will love, your business. Let's work together and get you on the fastest growing sports station in Northeast Florida. Call ESPN 690 today, 245-8732. That's 904-245-8732. Grow your business today on the new ESPN 690.
When the time comes to get your roof replaced, call Big Fish Roofing. We don't require any upfront deposits, and we are locally owned and operated by Jacksonville natives who have built their business on quality and integrity. At Big Fish Roofing, we know your roof is the first line of defense against the elements, so we make sure to deliver a quality project in a timely manner. You can find us at bigfishroofing.com or facebook.com/bigfishroofing, or give us a call at 904-685-8334.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week pregame show, brought to you by Mr. Chubby's Wings on ESPN 690. Here's Brent Martineau.
Early start here in the backyard. Lee High School hosting Columbia, and that's the way it is in Duval County as the Lee Generals take the field as a team tonight. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. All right, Coach, let's get to it. Keys to the game. Lusop Honda, the Avenue. Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy, brings us the keys to the game.
Keys to the game tonight from Lake City, Columbia. Get off to a fast start offensively. They think they need to do that to sort of let Lee know, hey, we're coming here in the backyard to play. They got to win in the kicking game. They're better than Lee in the kicking game. They did lose their return man, but they have guys that can take care of that. And third, they got to pressure the quarterback into mistakes, just like Revolt did last week. They brought a lot of pressure on Caleb Zaire, and he turned the ball over a few times. For Lake City, they want to control. For Lee, they want to control the tempo of the game. They want to be able to dictate how fast they're going to go, how they're going to do it. They want to be physical on the quarterback. If he gets out of the pocket, they want to make sure they hit him and disrupt him. And then the third thing, they feel like they have to eliminate the big play and make Columbia drive the field, make the Tigers get down the field and eat up clock, not just hit the big 60, 70-yard play.
Well, Columbia will have a chance to drive the field first. They will get the football to start this football game on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, as we're almost set for kickoff here tonight on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan. Thanks to Lusop Honda, the Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. Our Lusop Honda, the Avenues, keys to the game. Also thanks to Mr. Chubby's Wings, 2 locations on the west side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be. Mr. Chubby's Wings, our pregame show sponsor. Kickoff just moments away here in Duval County on another beautiful Friday night, but one that will have the sun beating down on the near side of the football stadium for at least the next hour or so, and we'll try to push that sun down, because once that thing goes down, it's going to be a beautiful night.
We can't get away from the sun, bro.
Here in the backyard. And an interesting setup, too. If you're listening and hopefully watching, you won't be able to really tell, but if you watched our afternoon show with myself and Austin Lane and Justin Kuzart, you could tell that I'm in a classroom. Well, here we are again. We're in a classroom. That's the way this is set up to call the game tonight. So the kickoff is a low-line drive, and it takes a good bounce for Lee right into the end zone, as Columbia was going to give a run at it, didn't do so, and let it bounce and end up bouncing right into the end zone. So no return from Marquez Bell.
Well, again, that was a good job on the kicking game. Coach Small really worried about his kicking game. They've had some issues with extra points. They've gone for 2 a bunch of times. They're like 7 of 10 on the year going for 2, which is pretty positive. That's right there, good. You know.
Yeah,
and
very good.
But he's really struggled on the kicking game. We talked about it last night.
Okay, so here's our first look at Jordan Smith, sensational quarterback going to USF, and he's a fun one to watch on this play. He hands off right up the middle, following the center, and a couple of yards for first down, maybe 3 for Columbia to get the drive started.
Yeah, defensive end Gabriel Merritt in there, number 90, who's one of the returners. Calvin Sinclair, D-lineman, one of the only seniors on the defense, making stuff happening.
Kylan Callum with that carry, he'll get much of the workload. He was really good in our opener of the game of the week against Trinity Christian now months ago. Smith back to pass, looks right, has a receiver, and finds a receiver. It's Andrew Myers for a first down, and then some up to the 47-yard line on the near side of the football field. A left-handed quarterback with a rifle throw.
Yeah, I tell you, offensive line's key for them tonight, keeping that defensive pass rush at bay right there. But that's a good job, way to get that first pass started.
And here we go. Hand off to Callum now. A shotgun snap and up the middle. No gain, as the Lee's defense was all over that in the middle of the field. Right now, Columbia just trying to keep that Lee defense honest. They'll air it out a bunch tonight.
Yeah, they're going to take their time. They want to get something positive on this first drive, and they want to sort of change the formation a few times to see how Lee's going to play it. And, again, they've run it on first down, thrown it on second down the first, so we'll see what we get here.
Official calls the timeout to fix one of the Columbia Tigers uniforms. They've got their gold pants on, their white jerseys with purple numerals, and the gold helmets. Columbia Tigers from Lake City, Columbia. Undefeated so far here in 2019. Probably the best team in the area, one of the best teams in the state of Florida. Here in the backyard against Lee on 2nd down and 10. Fake handoff to Callum, now being rushed at Smith, and he throws high as he was under pressure that time by the Lee Generals.
Yeah, again, that's what they want to do. They came with a little delayed blitz there. And, again, that's number 90 being real active. Calvin Sinclair getting in there, coming from his defensive end spot and getting in there. They brought 6 that time, and Columbia didn't have an answer for it that time.
So it'll bring up a 3rd down and 10 for Columbia. They're on their own 42-yard line. First drive of the game here in the backyard. Jordan Smith, the left-handed quarterback, has some time, looks right, has a receiver right at the sticks, and it's a catch by Marquez Bell and a 1st down as he steps out of bounds.
Yeah, so right there they're getting a good matchup that they like. They've got Jonathan Robinson, a DB, one-on-one on Marquez Bell right there, and he just gets his sticks, runs the out route, catches it, gets the 1st down, moves the chain. That's going to be something they're going to have to adjust with. They've been trying to, they've got the really good player, Jaquim Singletary, number 2, who's the top corner in the area for 2022.
Just a rifle throw on a couple of occasions. Jordan Smith off to a nice start in this game. 2 for 3, but 2 big 1st downs. He's in the shotgun snap on the Lee side of the field, looking right again, and this time overthrows Bell as there's a little miscommunication.
Yeah, again, they're gonna make contact with him, and they're gonna let him know they're gonna be coming after him a little bit, and that's what Coach Small said. Their key is keeping him uncomfortable.
Well, he's been uncomfortable against Lee in the past. The last 2 games against the Generals, he's actually gone out of the game and wasn't able to finish. So he got hurt in both of those games, and that's a player that's going to mess with your mind a little bit coming to face Lee, but it also motivates Jordan Smith, one of the best players in the area. 2nd down and 10, handoff to Callum. He's got a little bit of hole, dances a bit, now 6 yards, down inside the 40 and the 38 as he's bringing tacklers with him, and that's a nice run by number 22, Callum.
Yeah, they got a good job. He broke 1 tackle in the hole, but they got pretty good push from the offensive line. Those guys have been doing a good job this year. They've been probably the most solid unit as far as not losing any guys to injuries.
So it's a 3rd down and about 1.5 yards inside the 40-yard line of Lee. Out of the shotgun, 2 receivers left for Columbia. Jordan Smith slaps his hands, gets the snap, now dumps a little screen, has a receiver, and trying to dance to a 1st down, but Lee defends it very well. It'll depend on a spot here as the Generals might have stopped Lenedrick Bradley short of the 1st down.
Yeah, Maurice Heath from his outside linebacker spot did get fooled on that screen. Did a nice job on him. We're going to bring up 4th down. I think they're going to go for it here, Brent.
I would say so, too. They lost a couple yards on the play, so it's now 4th and 3. But absolutely, they're going for it in Lee territory. First drive of the game. It's been a good one so far. A couple 3rd down conversions. Now a chance for a 4th down conversion for Jordan Smith. He has Callum off on his right hip. Ball's on the 39-yard line.
Changing the play.
Now Callum moves to the left side. Shotgun snap. Smith looks left, throws downfield, and it's picked off, intercepted by the Generals, and here it comes back the other way, down the far sideline, inside the 30, the 25, cut back in. Smith will try to make the tackle inside the 20, and he does, down to the 15-yard line, and Lee off to a great start. Now we have a flag at the end of that.
Yeah, it looked like Larry Smith, number 3. Is that what you got on that?
I think it was number 3 as well. I was just trying to double-check on the far side of the field, but it would be.
Yeah, Larry Smith. I said Jordan Smith, the quarterback, just sort of stared him down right there, Brian. They had a nice little slant on this side, wide open on the 3-by-1. He tried to drill a ball in there. It pretty much threw it right to the Lee.
Yeah, Smith was standing in the right spot and had a nice return, too. That ball was caught inside the 25-yard line on the interception, and he returns it all the way back to the 15-yard line of Columbia. So the Lee Generals now in really good shape on their first offensive possession coming up on a short field.
Yeah, that's not how you want to start being with them sort of having your number over the years, and you come out, get a little movement, throw an interception for a big return.
That was Larry Smith, by the way. So here's the Generals now. We got a flag before they even get going. And that penalty was on Columbia, so they've actually got the ball inside the 10 to start this possession, but now they're going backwards after the penalty before the snap. What a start for Lee after Columbia put together a nice drive to get this thing going. We're just 4 minutes into the football game, 7:57 to go in the first quarter, scoreless between Columbia and Lee. We're here in the backyard. Big district matchup between these two. Columbia trying to stay hot and stay undefeated. But they just threw a pick, and Lee and Larry Smith return it all the way back to the 15. So here we go, 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. Actually, it's a 1st and goal from the 12-yard line. And a running play up the middle for a couple, maybe gets to the 10.
Well, that's Jaden Dunn, the sophomore, who has been unbelievable. 25 tackles last week against Madison County.
25 tackles.
Coach Allen said that he's come out of been solid. They knew he was a good player, but he has been so solid for them.
Quarterback is Kale Zara, sophomore for Lee. In the backfield, Cavante Doles. Zara throws it out, has a receiver, and it's complete. Inside the 10, a move back inside to the left hash, but not much doing there as a host of Columbia Tigers are there to greet. Kobe Bates.
Yeah, it looked like Bates is – now, you'll see Bates in a lot. He'll be in the slot. They'll move him around the running back. He'll play some quarterback in the Wildcat. Really athletic young man, really good player, but they bottled him up. Good running to the ball there for Lake City.
7:18 to go in the first quarter and counting. And we had a penalty on that play, Coach. Didn't notice that. But it's a holding call.
I think it might have been holding on the wideout on this side. Little tic-tac there, but that's what it looked like to me.
Right where they caught the ball because it goes back 10 yards from the 10-yard line. And now it's 2nd and goal from the 20 for Lee. So this drive was scheduled to start around the 8-yard line. Now it's back to the 20 on a 2nd and goal. Zara in the pistol kind of formation, bunch set, one receiver left. Zara now looks left, throws the fade, but miscommunication. Jaheim Singletary was the intended receiver, but it wasn't close.
Yeah, that just didn't look right from the beginning. They couldn't get sort of personnel in what they wanted to do. They tried to get in a little power formation. They took the one tackle to the tight end, put the tight end at the other tackle, had 3 backs in the backfield, sort of like faking the run, but that didn't look good from the start.
So it brings up a 3rd down and goal from the 20-yard line. You'd think maybe 4-down territory, or can they pick up 10 yards and then try to kick a field goal? A lot in play here as there's 5 wide receiver, empty backfield set for Zara, and the hard count forces Columbia to jump off. They'll get a free 5 yards as we go back and forth on the yo-yo early.
Yeah, a little excited there, number 10, Marion Pollock, who's been real solid for him this year, senior outside linebacker, strong safety. Just got a little too anxious right there.
So now from the 15-yard line, it's 3rd and goal. Zara back to pass. Looks corner of the end zone and overthrows his intended target of Kobe Bates. Good coverage on the play as well by Columbia.
Yeah, they brought pressure that time. He had him. He had the inside receiver, the inside number 3 in that empty set, had the corner out, had the DB beat. He just couldn't deliver it right there. Going to bring up 4th down here. 4th and goal, Brent, right?
Yeah, 4th and goal from the 15. O.J. Small looks to keep his offense on the field. That means Cole Zara is still out there at the quarterback position.
Yeah, this goes back to him talking about the kicker, and the kicking game's been real sporadic and everything. So I look for them to go for it anytime they get inside the 15.
And here they are. They're going for it. Trips to the left, 2 receivers right, empty backfield. Now Bates goes in motion. Across the line of scrimmage, Zara gets a snap, looks in the middle of the field and has a man and has a touchdown. That's a touchdown for the Lee Generals. Number 17, Timothy Gallion with the score, and the Generals strike first.
Yeah, that was a really good job. They got an empty and then moved a guy from one side to the other. Sort of Columbia didn't quite get where they needed to be lined up, but he put a really good ball sort of down and away. And 17 got down there and made a nice catch on it. Really good job by Timothy Gallion.
So on 4th and goal from the 15, Zara to Gallion, touchdown, and the Generals are on the board early.
So we are going to try to kick the extra point here. Looks like number 29, Derek Shapaney.
And Shapaney is able to get it up and in. The left-footed
Now that's a
kicker.
positive right there.
Positive for O.J. Small. He comes out, greets everybody, and now the Lee Generals are off to a good start. Halfway through this first quarter, 6:46 to go, 7-0 is our score as the Generals strike first. Impressive. First on defense with the interception of Jordan Smith on a 4th down play. And then the 4th down and goal from the 15 Zaradagalian general strike.
Yeah, it looked like they were a little confused in the secondary. I could see the couple of the DBs walking off, talking to each other about who had what they were playing, what coverage they were in, and sort of hurt them on that. So that's a great start for Lee right here, getting up on top of these guys and putting that little bit of doubt. You know, you've always got one team you always struggle with sometimes, and this might be their team that they just struggle with, sort of like Bartram and St. Augustine all those years. You know, so and they get out on top of you, so might change the mindset of Lake City guys. The Columbia Tigers coming in here tonight.
That's a good call, and you got to try to defeat that part of it, especially from a mental edge. But they've got enough talent to be able to do that. We'll see. Columbia Tigers again undefeated in 2019 and getting set to get the kickoff here. Going left to right. 7-0 Lee. The kick is end over end, taken around the 19-yard line. And here's Bradley. Bradley comes near side, has a hole. He could be gone, but there's a tackle and a touchdown-saving tackle. That was just around the 45-yard line. But, Coach, you saw what I saw. If Cavante Doles doesn't get him, there's a lot of green grass in front. We thought Lenedrick Bradley was out of there.
Boy, he saw that crease and just hit it, and Levante did a real good job in the open field making that tackle. Or I think he might have gone to the house right there. So let's see what we're going to get here for the Tigers. If they're going to come out, they've got to answer this right here. Not do or die early in the game, but they want to get something moving. They just seem a little out of whack on offense right now. They're burning, taking may have a water break timeout right here. They're all coming over the side talking to each other.
Well, let's grab a water break as well. Here in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. 6:37 to go in the first quarter. 7-0. The Generals out in front early.
Coming to Jacksonville. Oh, hey, it's Mike Golick. We'll be in town for the Georgia-Florida game and want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Aleworks.
To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Tonight's pregame show is sponsored by Mr. Chubby's Wings. You want the best wings in town? Mr. Chubby's Wings is the place to go before the game, during the game, and after the game. Chub it up at Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Hey, back to action here in the backyard. Lee Generals leading the Columbia Tigers 7-0 here in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. First play from scrimmage on the second possession for Columbia. Jordan Smith getting chased all over the yard by Craig Harper. Had to throw it away. So it's 2nd down and 10 from his own 46-yard line for Jordan Smith. Hands off to Callum. Callum has a little bit of a hole up to midfield. Now into Lee territory, dragging people with him down inside the 45. What a tough run by Kyle Callum.
Yeah, really good run in there. They sort of brought the blitz on first down, which I think caught him off that guard because second down was the blitz down. And then here they sort of play it, but the O-line does a nice job getting up on top of him and getting him moved a little bit. Good run, hard running by Callum.
Well, here's Callum again. Gets the handoff as Columbia moves fast, and this time he gets stonewalled on the play. Coming up to make the play, Maurice Heath. Maybe a gain of 1. Probably just got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Gabriel Merritt and Maurice Heath on that. Come together on that hit right there in real short yardage. Again, they went fast, but it didn't fool Lee right there. Same play usually when they go fast.
Call it a gain of 1 inside the 40-yard line of lead now. 2nd and 9, 5:45 and rolling in the first quarter. 7-0. Generals jump out in front after an interception and then a 4th down conversion from the 15 they scored on. Jordan Smith, though, back on Lee's side of the field. 4 wide receivers. Kyle Callum off his right hip in the shotgun set. Smith, the USF commit, hands off to Callum. He's got a bit of a hole, and I tell you what, Callum was trying to get out of there, but Lee was just holding on to a jersey and just enough muscle to be able to do that.
Yeah, that looked like number 40 in there. I don't know if that was Elijah Harris, but did a good job of getting his hands and sort of bringing him down right there.
He had that tug of war on that jersey. A little stretched out now for Kyle Callum as he's trying to fix that jersey a bit. Picks up 3 yards, 3rd and 6, 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. On the 36-yard line of Lee. Left to right goes Columbia. Gets the snap. Jordan Smith looks right, has a receiver. It's Myers, but he threw it behind him, or it would have been a first down, and it's incomplete. Brings up fourth down.
Yeah, brings up fourth down again. They brought the delayed blitz off the edge, off into the boundary right there. And this time he saw it. He put a little bit behind it, but Myers usually makes that catch. Bring up 4th and 6.
4th and 6. They keep the offense on the field. Brian Allen says, let's go for it. They'll put it in Jordan Smith's hands once again, most likely. Ball on the 36-yard line of Lee. Second time they've been down here. Second time they faced the fourth down. First time, Jordan Smith got intercepted. Trips to the left. Receiver to the right. The snap. Smith looks right. Has some time. Now looks back to his left. Has Myers all alone on the left side, far sideline. Makes a cut back into the middle. Down to the 10-5. And a big first down and then some. From Myers, from Smith on the fourth down conversion.
Yeah, they caught him bringing the pressure off the edge right there, and they ran double slants by 1 and 2, and then he just sort of ran the arrow wheel, sort of started out on an arrow and then bended it up right there, and Jordan found him and put it on. O-line did a good job right there, had plenty of time.
So the ball will be placed actually at the 6-yard line, I believe.
That's hard. It's about the 6. Looks like about the 6. First and goal.
Bear with us. The video that we're showing has a clearer picture than we do. 4 wide receivers set. Handoff. And going right and swallowed up is Jalen Brown, the sophomore running back. We saw him in the opener. He has some talent now, but that time only got a couple. Maybe even lost one.
Just a little quick toss out there, get the ball out fast. But, Lee's pretty fast. They're pretty good on that perimeter with their guys running around. So that's got to be something that they've got to either get away from, or he's got to fake that and stick his foot in the ground and go on that if they're going to read it.
Callum comes back into the game for Brown. Myers just caught the big fourth down. He's out to the right, along with Bell. Shotgun snap on 2nd and goal from the 6, and Jordan Smith tripped on a soft spot in the field, and he goes down for a loss of some. That's a sack, and he'll bring up 3rd and long.
Again, Lee's been real consistent on 2nd down, bringing the pressures, and they haven't quite figured that out right now, but they didn't have anybody open because they're all running these deep routes around the 6-yard line. Got to catch that ball, get it out fast.
This is a good defense for Lee,
yes,
too. 3 minutes now
job.
In the first quarter remain. The ball goes back to the 16-yard line. So it's a 3rd and goal from the 16 for Columbia. They had it at the 6 to start this set of downs after the big fourth down completion.
And they call timeout. They can't get lined up. Coach Allen not happy. They're calling timeout here.
2:52 remains in the first quarter. 7-0. Lee has the lead. But Columbia knocking on that door, even though they just moved a few steps back from that door. 3rd and goal from the 16-yard line upcoming. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. And obviously Jordan Smith and Columbia showing the ability to get up and down the field. This is one of those deals where you got to cash in on the big plays. They were picked off on a fourth down play on their first possession. They just converted on a big fourth down. But no doubt Brian Allen wants to see him get in here.
Yeah, they're signaling everything from the sideline, and they've been a little bit out of sync trying to get the personnel groupings and getting into what they want to get into to find something they like. But it's probably 2-down territory here. I know they have a pretty good kicker, Columbia does, so they may try to get it in, take a shot, or they may go for it here on 3rd and then get it close and go for it on 4th. We got to see what's happening.
Well, it worked for Lee, and now we've got a timeout by the officials.
Didn't we just say?
And we have some coaches coming out to midfield.
All right, I'm not going to say anything negative about the officials. It's only the first quarter, Brent.
It's interesting. A couple of the assistant coaches have come out to midfield and are getting something from the field around the logo, which is a pink logo with an L on it. Obviously, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And
I don't know, maybe there was something sticking up out there, maybe with a sprinkler head or something.
Yeah, it could have been. And now the official's saying, hey, come on over here. Whatever you did just then, we need you to do it over here as well. So there's something up with the football field at the moment.
I don't know, maybe
the officials are talking about. I've got the binoculars out, but I can't really make it out.
I don't know. It looks like they're like cutting something off the field, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like he's got scissors or something in his hand?
It does, and it's interesting because that was about the spot where Jordan Smith just
Right.
fell. He slipped on a soft patch. There are some dirt spots on the field, and that was one of them.
There will be in Duval County and this time of year, because a lot of practice fields are game fields too. Try to stay off as much as you can, but you're always going to wear it down.
All right. Well, if they cut the grass or did something with those scissors, they figured it out. They're off the field. 3rd and goal, 2:52 to go in the first quarter. Lee leads it 7-0. Here's a snap for Jordan Smith in Columbia. Looks downfield. Now he's going to scramble, but he's caught from behind on a nice play by that front for Lee before Jordan Smith could escape.
Yeah, that was number 40 right there for Lee, pulling him down. They've done a good job of not really giving him the big hit, but I want to believe that might have been Elijah Harris, or I'll check that, Brent. I'm not quite sure who that is. I've got 42 for Elijah on my roster, so
sometimes
we're not quite
you get
sure.
Different roster numbers here in the high school.
4th and goal now.
Here they are, 4th and goal. They decide not to kick it from the 16-yard line. No gain on the play. 2:10 and counting on the clock in the first quarter. 4 wide receivers set. Smith waits for the snap. Now looks over to the sideline. And now a flag or a timeout. Another timeout being taken. And we'll see if Brian Allen changes his mind and kicks a field goal.
Yeah, I think he'll kick it to try to get points right here. They got a pretty good kicker, pretty good snapper in there. I believe the holder is number 83. Ryan Green, one of the backup wideouts, I'm not mistaken. I think he's the holder, and 35 is the kicker.
Yeah, that's Brian Brigden.
And we saw Brigden hit a couple good ones early on. Is that Brigden or is that Zach Williams?
That's 35.
35 looks like Zach Williams.
Depends which roster you look at, Coach.
Well, sorry, everybody, if you got us on.
Welcome to high school football. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. We'll call him Brigden or Williams. Right-footed kicker. Ball's at about the 25-yard line.
No, it's bad snap.
Is not good.
They better get on that.
And Lee recovers it. Has no chance for the kicking team of Columbia as the bad snap goes awry and another drive spoiled for the Columbia Tigers. Lee will take over.
That was Jai Robinson, 99, defensive lineman, falling on that ball trying to scoop a score. I'll stay with you on that call. But again, another mistake. So they've got the turnover that led to 6 points, and now they've got another turnover on downs off the bad snap right there coming off the hands of the holder.
Sun's starting to go down here in the backyard. Duval County, Lee High School. They've got the lead 7-0 over Columbia. They won 3 out of the last 4 against the Tigers. Tigers are undefeated. One of the best teams in the state. Maybe the best team in the area, but they trail here in the first quarter with 1:54 to go. Big district matchup here tonight in Duval. Lee goes in motion, and now the handoff. Some room to run on the left side, and that's a nice run by Zaire Lee. Tough run, shedding some tacklers, and good for a first down.
Yeah, that was a really good run. He put a good stiff arm on Doles, number 15, leading tackler for Columbia, on Jason Dunn.
So on first down, here's another handoff to Lee. Shakes another tackle up the middle and then bounces a little bit to the left hash and clicks up close to another first down. Probably 9 yards on the play as Lee and Zaire Lee are into Columbia territory.
Yeah, 75, J.J. Faulkner, big sophomore offensive lineman on the pull right there. They do a good job with some of their offensive line. They move them around in different spots, and they do it sometimes to pull them. They do it sometimes just to get a little bit of mash, bigger guys together. So they've done a pretty good job with their O-line, but it doesn't have a lot of depth there.
Coming up on a minute to play in the first quarter, 7-0 lead. Generals driving. Another handoff to Lee. Shakes and bakes up the middle and finds a little more running room as a first down and down to the 42-yard line. This has been all Zaire Lee on this drive. He's running tough.
Yeah, 50. Daylon Lumpkin, the nose guard, falling back over there, and then also one of the safeties had to come downhill and make that tackle. I tell you, he's averaged about 7 yards a carry on the season. 23 Zaire Lee. So
Doles now comes in for Lee as Lee gets a breather for the Generals. It's Cole Zara, and it's Cavante Doles in the backfield. Trips to the right. One to the left, it's Timothy Gallion, who caught the touchdown pass. Now Zara will keep it. Has some room, breaks a tackle, now down to the 30-yard line, and another first down as the running game is getting going here for the Lee Generals, leading by 7.
Yeah, Dante Brown, the safety, had to come up and make that tackle. Did a good job, sort of like a little pull read play on that. Caleb Zaire pulled the ball out right there and then sort of made a guy miss, got up in the hole, made another guy miss, got the first down. So it seems like Lee coming out thinking they're going to run the ball on these guys where they've usually been known to throwing it around the yard all day, all night. We got the end of the first quarter.
That will do it for quarter number 1. It's a good one for the Lee Generals. They lead it 7-0 over Columbia, and they're driving. More of our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Right after this, we're in the backyard in Duval County.
I think Carson Wentz is going to come back and have a resurgent year.
Are you not concerned at all with the lack of depth at quarterback position? They had to rely a lot on Nick Foles. Carson Wentz gets hurt every year.
Not every year.
Golic and Wingo, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN 690.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Hey, we're about ready to get started in the second quarter. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. Nice atmosphere here in Duval County as the sun starts to set here on a Friday night, middle of October in Jacksonville, Florida. Lee has the ball, and Zaire Lee has the ball. Direct snap to him, and he's going right. He's been running well on this drive. Picks up a couple of yards before Columbia brings him down.
Yeah, again, that was number 15, Jaden Dunn, on there. Little trickeration right there, little direct snap to the running back. Didn't really fool anybody. Still picked up good 5 yards. They're averaging like 5 yards a carry, man. I keep feeding Zaire Lee. He's a bowling ball. He's getting after it today, Brent.
He's been fantastic on this drive. And Lee, 30 seconds into the second quarter, has a second down and a handful from the Columbia 30-yard line.
Looks like normal formation. We got a little motion again.
Little motion. Zara, shotgun snap, now looks left, throws left, has an open receiver. It's caught around the 12-yard line, tackled out of bounds. And that's Terry McKinney with the catch and a first down.
Yeah, that was a good little play, sort of see what coverage they're in. They brought the yo-yo motion, you call it. They bring him down and bring him back out and run him on a little bit of wheel out there. Nobody there, good catch, first down.
Inside 11 minutes now to go in the first half. First and 10 from the 15 for Lee. They already lead at 7-0 here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. A couple big stops on defense. One an interception and then a special team stop as well as Columbia was going in to score a couple of times. Tigers undefeated so far in 2019. Zara has it, now pitches it out to Doles. Doles has some room on the near side, running right, tackled inside the 10-yard line. And a good pickup on first down for Doles and Lee.
Yeah, that's a good check. They checked to that speed option right there. They had a defensive end with the linebacker stuck inside, so it was easy to let the end go. Just sort of run at him, maybe tax it, pitch it, get on the edge and go. That was a good 8-yard gain right there.
Yeah, they're going to call it, maybe even give them a 9th yard on that. 2nd and 1 from just outside the 5-yard line. Once again, our vantage point. We're in the classroom here, which is a cool setting, but we're way down the other side of the field. So the video feed, you'll probably see it a little bit more. Now the handoff to Doles. He reaches across for the first down. Tried to get it, but that was really good penetration by Columbia's defense. And let's see where the officials spot it. They say first down, so it's 1st and goal for Lee, trying to add to a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, they brought in a couple D linemen here in this power set. We used to call this ball buster. We got 2 backs up there, 2 fullback, big body sniffers up top in there, and just sort of going to go best on best here and mash them.
Well, and the handoff to Dole, and he has a room off the right side. Did he get in or down near the goal line? He got down close, but not in.
Him down.
It'll be 2nd and goal. That gap closed in a hurry.
Yeah, again, it's just short yardage power, man on man. You got a yard, it's 3rd and 1. You got to see it, bring it. They're going to run the exact same play.
Why not, right? And Dole's tripped up in the backfield. Nice play by the Tigers defense.
Yeah, that was great penetration in there. Levante Campbell, defensive end commitment to South Florida, leads them in sacks. And number 10, Devin Johnson, had just sticked up in there and got in there. So now, what do we got here, Brent?
Well, we have a 3rd and goal. And it's pretty close. It's ball on the 1-yard line.
Yeah, from our vantage point, looks like the pylon is on the other side of the yard marker. So here we go, 3rd and goal.
And here they bring in Zaire Lee. He's done a lot of the work. They hand it to him. He bowls in. And does he get in? Yes, he does.
Yep.
Lee's all fired up. They used the big fella to get the 2nd touchdown of the game. Zaire Lee for 6.
Yeah, they did a nice job there. They brought 75 in it on the right side. J.J. Faulkner, the big young offensive lineman. And they brought those 2 big, strong backs in behind him and just run power, basically. Get him blocked and go. And I'd just feed the ball to Zaire Lee. He's dangerous on that.
He's a big, bruising back, and they got the yard they needed because of Zaire Lee. And I love the reaction from Jaheim Singletary, too, out at the wideout position. He was all fired up.
Yep.
Got the run game working, got another score, and they have a chance now to make it 14-0 with an extra point. Low snap, good hold, and the kick is
no good.
Pulled right.
Wow.
It's a pretty good kick. Just pulled to the right side. And it misses. So 13-0 is our score. How about Lee? What a start to the football game.
Yeah, I think they've done a good job of finding out, like we talked about. You got to sort of take what they'll give you, and they feel like they can run the ball on these guys. Again, we know they've got some guys, defensive line players, that have been hurt and that are out, and they've come out and attacked them. They've thrown a little bit, but, boy, that whole drive there was a lot of run on that one, and that's a good job for the league. And, again, it puts that in the mind of those Lake City kids, those Columbia kids. Oh, no, we're favored. Here we go again, blah, 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 blah. So, again, this is something they've got to get something going on this drive. 13-0, 8:22. They've got to definitely get something going here.
Well, they've had movement on offense. They need to make plays. We talk about this seemingly with every team and every game we do. When you have the chance to make a play and go in, you need to make that play, and that's usually the decisive factor at all levels of football.
Right.
And so far, it's been a decisive one here tonight so far.
Yeah, without a doubt. Again, but at Lee's game plan, that showed what they're going to do. They're going to run the football, and they're going to pick and choose when they throw it. So, again, here we go. So we'll get a little kickoff here from Champaign. Oh.
Wow, it's taken all the way back at about the 8-yard line. Here's Bradley. It looks like a Bell. It's Bell. He comes across the field near side. A little stutter step and a good return, but also something probably Lee will take. It's not a breakthrough.
Right. Yeah, not bad. Larry Smith made the tackle. He's been real active. He's got an interception tonight, playing good back there at the safety spot. So, again, see if Columbia's figured out about their second down blitz package that they brought at them, that they've had success, and also – are we gonna make a commitment to running it, or are we gonna throw it every down? If they do, they got to get the ball in Bradley and Bell's hands.
They have playmakers on the outside, and of course their quarterback is the ultimate playmaker, one of the best players in the area. So here's Jordan Smith out of the shotgun, hands it to Callum, who also is a good player, up the middle for a few yards for Kyle Callum.
Yeah, again, I think that was called. If that was any kind of zone read, he would have pulled that and got on the edge right there. Again, that you've got to do a couple different things to move the ball against him. But Lee very, very good on defense.
3-yard pickup from the 36 now. Smith looks left, has a receiver. It's Bradley. Bradley gets tripped up inside Lee territory, but it's a first down and a nice pass and catch. Smith to Bradley.
Yeah, again, he's got to get the ball in his hands. He's a real effective player. Again, he had a big game last week against Madison.
Well, quickly they go. Columbia hands it to Callum now inside the 45-yard line for a couple of yards, but that's it. Well defended by the Generals.
All right, so we got blitz last time. on second down, last series on second down. See if Lee comes after it on the blitz right here again. They've been real successful getting to him.
They call it 1 yard gain from the 44 now of Lee. Once again in territory, Smith looks deep down the field and just overshoots his intended receiver, Trey Tolliver.
Yeah, again, they came on the pressure again. They had man-to-man up on the top, and he came with the deep ball right here. He had the short sit-down route to Bradley for a nice, easy pickup, a nice, easy gain. But, again, he's trying to get the home run ball, and it's going to be awful hard to do that against Lee with the kids they have playing in the secondary.
So it brings up a 3rd down and 9 for the 44-yard line of Lee. The Generals lead it 13-0, stunning Columbia in the early going of this one. 7:14 to go in the half. Smith, shotgun, gets a snap, looks right on 3rd down. Tries to escape, he does, near side the field and slings it, but his receiver fell down, and that once again was the freshman Tolliver who fell down on the play.
Yeah, again, they wanted to come out. They wanted to harass him. They wanted to get after him. If you look at the wideouts' heads, they're walking off, their heads down. It's almost like it's already in their mind. I thought he forced that ball. I thought he could have got up on the perimeter a little bit more, got his shoulders square. But, again, I think the league, their game plan is they're going to go after him and try to hit him and disrupt him, and they've done a really good job.
Lee's doing a good job on the interior, especially because they're putting a little pressure on Jordan Smith. So now a punt formation on 4th and 9 from the 44. That's Myers. Myers kicks it away. It's a low line drive that never bounces in the field of play. Instead, it goes out of bounds on Columbia's sideline around the 22. And that's where the Lee Generals will set up shop once again. Their first 2 possessions have been very successful. 2 touchdowns and a 13-0 lead.
Yeah, again, it looks like, look at the Lake City sideline, Brent. They're in a sort of a defeatist pose. They just got about a 25-yard punt right now. They got to get some life. They got to get somebody to step up and make a play here on defense. Campbell's got to go. Dunn's got to go. Somebody's got to step up and make a play, or this is going to be a long night for them driving back.
You got to snap out of this, Coach. Get him out of that. Go yell at somebody.
Go yell. Get down there and watch it on TV. Hell, get out there and play. Let's go.
From the 22-yard line, Lee. Offensive line having some fun with the band
they're
playing,
ready to go.
That's Carl Flowers Jr. revving it up a little bit. Cole Zara looks over to the sideline as they change the play. 7 minutes to go in the first half. Lee up 13-0. They've got the football again on their own 23. Zara hands off to Doles. Doles left side, maybe up to the 25, but not much doing on the first play of this possession.
Yeah, that was a little bit of good play there by 18 Trey Tolliver, squeezing that down. They tried to pull the backside guy and get a little kick on. He cross-faced and got back there. So, again, that's a positive play because they were giving up about 5 to 6 on first down last drive. So, again, this is big second down right here. Big second down.
Looking over that sideline saying, glad Zaire Lee's over there. He's on the bench right now. Change the play again on 2nd and 8 from the 24-yard line. Knows the football might even be touching the 25. Zara out of the shotgun. Doles next to him. He hands to Doles up the middle, follows the center, and picks up probably 3 more yards. So we'll bring up a 3rd and about 4, maybe 5 on this possession.
Yeah, again, this is a big 3rd down for Columbia to try to get him off the field. They bring in the bruiser back in, Zaire Lee, right now. Wait, nope, they're both going out. Looks like 13's coming in the game. Alvin Gibson, they use him in a lot of different spots.
Yeah, the sophomore, 5'7", 155-pounder. He's out to the right now on the near side. It's a 4 wide receiver, empty set for Cole Zara. 3rd down and a handful from the 28-yard line. 13-0 lead for Lee. 5:40 to go in the first half. And they in motion.
They run the jet.
To the guy in motion on the jet sweep near sideline. It's a 1st down and then some, and maybe a penalty that comes out at the end as we have pink penalty flags here tonight for breast cancer awareness. Dayon Rawls. Kobe Bates. That was Kobe Bates.
Kobe Bates. Again, he gets the ball. They try to get him the ball any way they can. They get another 15-yarder tacked on. Again, the problem over here is the sideline's so tight. You know what I mean? And the lines, if you can't even see the out-of-bounds line. Look over here, Brian.
Yeah, it's tough for the player.
Yeah, for the player, and you know, officials got to understand that. That's
your spatial awareness as a player really gets put in check here because of what you just said. First of all, you don't see a solid white line as an out of bounds. And secondly, just your perception, your depth perception of where the sideline would be, your coaches and fellow teammates compared to that out of bounds.
Right.
It's way off because there's just not a lot of room between out of bounds and the fence.
Without a doubt. And it's always hard to play. And that's the advantage for Lee. You know, they're used to playing on this field.
5:24 to go in the first half. We have a water break. 13-0. Lee in front over Columbia. Here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Golick and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey, everybody. Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st. To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
And here we go with live action. 5:24 to go in the first half. 1st and 10 for Lee. Zara under some pressure has to just throw it away. And Brian Allen wants an intentional grounding, and he might be right. There. He should get it. Ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. So good pressure that time by the Columbia Tigers.
Who's he throwing to?
They threw a flag, Coach.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I can't see it. I'm going to be on them guys in a minute.
Well, you were. Quite frankly, I'm just trying to protect them.
You're doing a good job. Sorry, that's a coach in me that comes out, fella. People over there listening today, so I get a little excited about the officiating.
I have to hold them back, people.
We got a good crew tonight, though. Real good crew tonight. So.
Well, not only that, I mean, I like the touch tonight, breast cancer awareness, and they're throwing the pink
flags. Yep.
Mixed with yellow. So that's a huge penalty, Coach. All the way back to their own 42-yard line now. A long way to go. Zara has the snap under pressure. Now tries to escape pressure. He does to the right side, near side, and he'll be tackled after a few yards, but well defended by Devin Johnson.
Yeah, that was a good job by them. They brought a little pressure. He couldn't set his feet. They did have a guy on the dragger wide open. If he could have got another second, he would have hit that guy, and I bet he might have scored right there. That's a good job by Columbia, sort of changing it up. They haven't brought a lot of pressure, but they sure did that time.
Wow, 3rd and 25 from the 46-yard line of Lee. That was a huge intentional grounding penalty. Yeah. That really dropped them way back.
Yeah, because it goes where the penalties from where they throw the ball at.
4:34 and counting in the first half. Lee's up 13-0, and now they're just trying to probably punt the ball away. The ball goes off the hands of Timothy Gallion, who caught the touchdown earlier. Fortunate it wasn't bounced around and picked off. Incomplete will bring out the punting team.
Yeah, this little quick screen, they had it, put a little bit too much mustard on it. Got to make that catch. They had the lineman up in front. Again, I think they anticipated him coming after him on the blitz, be able to get that off real fast. So we're going to see lead punt, Jai Robinson, number 99, D lineman punting right here, Brent.
Oh, I like it. And back to receive will be Lenadrick Bradley or that Marquez Bell. That's Marquez Bell. 2 fantastic athletes. So Bell will go back to his 25-yard line or so. The snap is a good one. The punt is up, and it's a good one. That thing's belted down there.
Bell's got a chance.
Bell had to go back to the 20, shakes and bakes a little bit, loses his balance, and goes down maybe around the 24, 25-yard line. Well defended, super punt. And Columbia gets the football back with 4:16 to go in the first half. They trail by 13. The story around Northeast Florida right now is Lee is beating Columbia 13-0. Not only beating them, but shutting them out in the first half.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, nobody expected this to happen today. But again, Lee's really good on defense. As long as they can control the ball and do what they do offensively, they've got a chance. This is a big possession for Columbia right here. Big possession.
Well, you brought it up, too. In their 2 losses, 8 turnovers for Lee. In their 4 wins, just 2 turnovers. So that says a lot. Jordan Smith has a snap, spits it out to Bradley. Bradley trying to make some room, and he does. Has the catch and a few more yards at the end of the run. So a good gain on first down. This drive starting at their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, Lee's doing a good job on first down, limited them a little bit throughout this game of what they're trying to do. But we'll see if where they're going to attack them at. But they've done a real good job on defense.
Well, a shotgun snap after a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Bradley has it now. Jordan Smith to Bradley. He's running across the field. He'll be brought down, but it's a gain of 1st down as some of those guys are losing their footing right around the middle part of this football field where there's a bunch of dirt.
Yeah, Jeremy Porter, the middle linebacker, I thought was going to jump that route. And he sort of tripped in what we call the giggy. We call it the giggies when you're in the dirt part of the field. So the giggy part of the field.
3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Columbia trailing by 13-0. This hasn't been the problem. They've been able to move the ball. Trips to the left. Smith now looks right, and he throws it in the dirt, incomplete.
Yeah, they're trying to play a little man free up on the single up there and doing a good job. They're rotating a couple corners in there.
That was Maurice Heath right there. He's in good coverage.
Yeah, really good job. He's done a good job today. And again, they're keeping the safety up over the top, Derek Smith, too. So, again, both it's sort of the game in the game, seeing what they're going to give you, what you're going to be able to take from them. But they got to work this trip side of the field here.
2nd and 10. Now Myers goes in motion. Smith gets a snap, looks to his left. The left-handed quarterback scrambles, flush from the pocket, near sideline, running out of room. Now will turn up field and get a couple of yards before going out of bounds as he turned on the Jets there at the end of that play.
Yeah, he moved pretty good. Got pressure right off the bat from number 5, Ralph Mency. He's an Ohio U commit. Really good player. He thought he was a wideout when he was a young kid, Coach Small told me. And last year they moved him to defensive end, had like 15 sacks. So I think they might have found his spot.
How about that? I guess so. Ohio thinks so, too.
Yes, sir.
That's a beautiful campus up there in Athens, Ohio. 2:43 to go and counting. 3rd and 7 after the gain of 3 by Jordan Smith. It was a nice gain because he had nothing doing in the passing game. Out of the shotgun, gets the snap. Now looks to his right. Looking for a big 3rd down completion. Goes way down the field. Looking for Bell, but he's double covered. Fantastic coverage by Lee, and nothing doing on this offensive possession by the Tigers.
No, nothing right there at all. And again, I thought he was going to take off and tuck it. They sort of washed them all and kicked the outside guy out, and he had a big run lane right here on our side. Brent, I thought he was going to take it, tuck it, and go because there was nobody here. Both safeties had bailed. Corner had gone deep, and they did a good job on the pressure there, the offensive line for Columbia.
Columbia's frustrated. They can't get anything going. In fact, so much so, there's so much frustration. I think Brian Allen thought about going for it on his own 39-yard line on 4th and 7, and then wisely said, all right, we got a lot of football to go.
Without a doubt.
2.5 to play now. Low snap. Punter gets it and gets it away. That's Myers. He did a fantastic job with that. Ball lands around the 30-yard line and bounces back toward Columbia, so it takes a lead bounce, but not much of one. I would say Myers did a heck of a job with that. First the snap, and then got a pretty good kick away.
Yeah, pretty good, about 36, 37 yards.
Lee will start at their own 30-yard line, trying to add another score with 2:17 to go. And this is where, if you're O.J. Small, you say, hey, we would love a score.
Sure.
But we really don't need a turnover.
Yeah, I think we'll get a dose of Zaire lead. They've been successful. He didn't get any touches on the last series, and they didn't do anything with it. So I could see him come in there and give him a bunch of touches here, just sort of pound it, get what you can get. You've got the lead. Your kids are playing with confidence. I think we're going to get that.
Well, that's why you coach the game. Lee's in the game, and I think Lee is going that way too. 2:17 to go in the first half. 13-0 Generals. Well, they say, no, we're not giving it to Lee. We're going to throw it instead. And Zara's pass is incomplete.
Again, Campbell bringing the pressure right there. Again, okay, we got to complete that. I think they try to sneak that fullback out. He doesn't really get the ball much on anything, and I think they just try to sneak him out. Maybe wide open, you put it right on there, number 44.
Keyshawn Waters.
Yeah, Keyshawn Waters. Just sort of sneak him out, catch him the ball, but he didn't quite get it to him. So that brings up second half. That stops the clock also.
2:12 to go in the first half, and you know Columbia wants that football back. Columbia doesn't have, they might have one timeout, but I'm not sure they even do have that. They burned a bunch of timeouts in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 30-yard line. Fake the Lee. Zara keeps it, running the left, turns it upfield, but he'll be denied and then gang tackled around the 34-yard line. So a nice job by Columbia's defense. And Levante Camille, he had a heck of a game when we saw him against Trinity. Oh, there he is again.
Yeah, he's committed to South Florida. He leads them in sack. Very active, moves around very well. 44 tackles on the year.
Looks like he comes up a little gingerly, though. after making that tackle. In fact, he stayed down on a knee for a second, so keep an eye on that. 3rd down and 6 from the 34. I think it's really more like 3rd and 7 from the 33.
Look for Lee, some quick screen stuff. Either run it or get it out of his hands fast.
4 wide receivers set. Doles goes in motion. Zara looks right and overthrows Jeremy Robinson.
They got a penalty.
Oh, it's in the land of holding or roughing the passer?
I think it's roughing the passer on 50.
This would be a big penalty against Columbia. And I think you're exactly right.
It's a look. Yep, that's what it is, Brent. That's a big penalty right there because they would have been able to get the ball back with their explosive offense. And I'll tell you what it feels like tonight is that Lee is the number 2 team in the state and the number 9 team in the state in all classifications. And Columbia is the other team. That's what it looks like to me tonight right now. They're so out of sync.
Well, 1:23 to go in the first half, and that will eliminate the possibility, it looks like, of Columbia getting the football back here in the first half. Keep in mind, Columbia got the ball first, too. So,
right.
Lee, this is a bonus possession for them. Now that they're out about midfield, they'll also get the second half kickoff to start the third quarter.
Again, don't get cute. Don't be doing anything you're not used to doing. Just do what you've been doing.
Out of the handoff to Zaire Lee. Actually, that's not Lee.
That's 13.
That's Alvin Gibson in the game, spelling both Lee and Doles.
Yeah, Doles plays a little bit, a bunch of special teams, also plays some wide out there.
Yep. And he's split out now and trips to the right. No gain on the play. A minute to go in the first half, 13-0 Lee on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Zara now throws it, has a receiver. It's caught by Terry McKinney, and down to the far side of the football field. It's a first down and then some. A big gainer by McKinney, and a good play and throw from Zara.
Yeah, nice and safe. You got the single one-on-one. The corner's playing like 8-9 yards off and bailing. Hey, just catch it, throw a little slant cut. He did a nice job when he caught it. He stopped it and wheeled back outside to get a big run on there right there.
Yeah, beautiful timing route inside 45 seconds to go now.
Now
they're 27-yard line, 1st and 10. Zara just straight runs it, and he's got a hole and room to run. He is caught on what could have been a big tackle because it looked like there was plenty of room for Zara to maybe even go into the end zone.
Yeah,
Still a big
Brown.
game.
Dante Brown did a good job on that open field tackle. All they did right there was a real nice play. They just went to empty and just ran quarterback trap on the outside, basically kicked and blocked everybody down. He just hit the crease.
They blocked it well.
Yep, very well. The O-line, those guys have done a really good job, Lee. They moved guys around. 75, we talked about Faulkner. 72, Darryl Johnson did a good job. 61's done a nice job tonight. 62, Levon Laws. So they played a few different O-linemen. They've done a really good job up in there tonight.
Here's the deal. 33 seconds to go in the first half as Lee called the timeout. 13-0. Generals are in the lead, and, well, they're now inside the 20-yard line of Columbia, down to the 18 on a 2nd and 2. That's what awaits. This could be a huge possession for Lee, trying to pull the upset and win 4 out of 5 against Columbia. They swept them 2 years ago.
Right.
Lost the regular season game last year, but beat Columbia in the playoffs.
In the famous 3rd down play. But, again, it's going to be something safe, something easy.
2nd and 2, 33 seconds to go. Zara gets it, looks left, now goes back to the right. Picked off, and it is. It was knocked down and deflected by Christian Hill and then intercepted right into the hands of a teammate.
Again, it was safe. They were throwing just a little quick bubble out there, but the end got vertical and sort of just got his hand in the way, and it was picked off.
Christian Hill made the play. He deflected it and popped that ball up in the air. And now let's see. Does Columbia try to strike quick? 27 seconds to go. They at least stop Lee from going in. That's a huge defensive
right
stand
there
for the Tigers.
I mean, they could have still at least 10 to the field. Again, it's going to be screen draw on 1st down. And then take your shot after that.
They got some guys that can fly. Jordan Smith looks the pass, looks left, and overthrows on Edric Bradley right into his own bench, so it's incomplete. 5 seconds go off the clock. 22 seconds to go here in the opening half, 13-0. Lee leads Columbia, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Yeah, Lee's going to keep their DBs deep. They're going to let them catch all the underneath stuff, just make the tackle.
You can't let somebody by you in this situation.
Those D linemen should be teeing it up, ready to go for Lee.
Smith 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Shotgun, now just a quick little pass off to his left side. It's complete. And does the receiver get out of bounds?
No.
No, it's a fumble. Is it a fumble?
Yes.
Is the ball loose? Yes, it is loose, and Lee recovers.
Looked like 30 did the hitting and recovering for Lee right there. That was a really good play. Jeremy Porter, the linebacker. Again, that's a big down. You coach your guys about catching the ball in the 2 minute and getting out of bounds. And, man, that was big right there for Lee. Now they can take a couple shots into the end zone from here. Nothing to lose now.
So a big turnover by both teams. Just a simple little pass out to the left.
Yeah.
And I was expecting the receiver to get out of bounds. Instead, amidst all the traffic and all the sideline confusion, stayed in bounds.
Well, I'm sure they've been coached to get out of bounds. He just tried to make a play, but all those guys are deep.
So here we go, 13 seconds to go. Lee leading 13-0, ball on the 30-yard line. So the Generals have a chance. They got the lead, a chance, and the football, but they just burned the timeout before a play was even attempted. Play clock was running down.
Yeah, I think so. I think they got what they wanted. They had man-to-man on the single up top. So now you can take your chances here because, again, it's 13 seconds. So we're going to take a couple shots into the end zone. They've got it. Well, I don't know. I think they've got one timeout left, if I'm not mistaken. So they can sort of still get the ball over the middle and call timeout, run the field goal team and get a kick, or they can take a shot into the end zone. But I didn't like that defense for Columbia, even though you got a good corner, but you're one-on-one up top. I'd like to see them. They're going to move one of their other guys over to the single right here, Lee, if they're going to play it that way. That's what I'm thinking.
Might be super picky, but I would have maybe taken the delay of game and saved the timeout.
Yeah, you're right on that. They could have done that, but, you don't want to give up any points there, any yards. Any yards unnecessarily. Now they've got a safety hanging over on this side. But this is what they like right here. They got one-on-one on the outside.
Bunch to the left, and now Zara looks and under pressure. Nice job by the Columbia defense as Zara just throws it away into the Tigers bench. Three seconds to go now in the first half, and a flag just popped out.
They're going to throw grounding on him. Because the wideout was way down there, and I think he just threw it away.
Now we have a committee meeting.
That's going to be a big penalty, remember, because that's where he threw the ball from, where the official is. So if it's a grounding penalty, that's where the penalty comes from.
And that's about the 32, 33-yard line, and they are going to call intentional grounding. It will march back to the 38-yard line.
So this will be probably the last play of the half here.
They'll put 7 seconds on the clock. Downs don't matter right here. It's just the yardage and what Lee wants to do, which is essentially just a Hail Mary here at the end of the half.
Yeah, take a shot. Bring some pressure. Columbia did a good job that time bringing a little pressure on him. Those guys up front have done a good job. And since second quarter, they've got a much better pass rush than they had at the beginning.
Generals playing with house money right here. 7 seconds to go. They lead at 13-0 over Columbia in a big district battle here in the backyard in Duval County at Lee High School. Trips to the left, bunched up. One to the right, Gallion who caught the touchdown. Zara now under some pressure, has nowhere to go. And he will be sacked and brought down, and that's the way the first half will end on a nice defensive play by Columbia.
Yeah, Jaden Dunn with a sack, been all over the field tonight. Again, they got out of there lucky, both teams, but I think Lee really got fortunate on that, being able to get the turnover there, but Columbia got fortunate to get the grounding penalty. So, again, a little sloppy there in the 2-minute drill. But all Lee in the first half.
Well, if you're jumping in from Columbia County, from Duval County, from anywhere in Northeast Florida or anywhere in the state of Florida, this one might surprise you. 2 quarters in the books. 13-0, the Lee Generals with a 13-zip lead on Columbia. Our halftime show and second half action on the way from the backyard on Action Sports Jacks. Game of the week on ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker's Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker's Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Anyone can get on the radio these days and say whatever they want. But how many people back up what they say? Beard's Diamonds does. Here's Ben, the second generation of jewelers at Beard's.
I grew up here. My dad started this business 38 years ago. We know how good our diamond prices are, but we want to make sure that you know. That's why Beard's Diamonds is offering you a $500 gift card if you can find any GIA certified diamond for less, anywhere in North Florida.
Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center and at beardsdiamonds.com.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Now, the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week halftime show. Here's Brent Martineau.
Hey, welcome back to the backyard. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. We are at halftime, 2 quarters in the books, and a surprise around the area here. Not that Lee's winning. Lee's a good football program, good team. They've had Columbia's number. They've won 3 out of the last 4 against the Tigers. But I think more so for me, Coach, is the fact that Columbia is yet to score. They had some opportunities early. They throw an interception on 4th down. Then they also had a field goal botched with a bad snap. And they've got a goose egg in the first couple of quarters of this one.
Yeah, what's surprising to me is how well Lee's run the football. You know, coming in there, they've thrown it all over the yard, and the back, Zaire Lee, has been real solid. He averaged about 7 yards a carry on the season anyway. He's their leading rusher. He's got almost over 700 yards. But, but just the way they've run it and not thrown it, because that's what they're known for. And I think that's been the big change of this game is credit to the Lee staff of coming out, doing what they know they think they can do effectively and taking the pressure off the young quarterback. Had the 3 big turnovers last week in the loss to Rebold.
We got this game rocking and rolling so quick. We probably didn't spend enough time talking about the coaching staffs of these 2 teams. I mean, what O.J. Small has done with Lee to bring them back. And in fact, was talking to Brian Allen this week, and he even mentioned that. He said, listen, you go back in the old Gateway days, Columbia used to handle Lee.
Right.
Lee wasn't even someone you circled on the calendar at times. And, of course, we know the history with Corky Rogers. But O.J. Small has come back here and done a fantastic job, the former Florida Gator. And they've been so relevant these last few years. They're a tough football team. I think kind of both teams are alike in that sense.
Right.
There's a toughness about them, right? They kind of know how to win. And right now, Lee is proving that toughness. And O.J. Small has had Brian Allen's number a bit over the last couple of years.
Yeah, and the thing that people don't understand about O.J., the first 2 years he had this job, they were redoing the school. They had to play on the road. They had to play at Ed White, which is one of their big rivals, which was a big sore spot for the alumni. And then they went 2-8, and I want to believe 3-7. And then when he had a group of young kids that he had told them, look, it's going to be better. We're going to get rid of the kids that don't want to be here. And they built it. And then that 3rd year, they won 7 and almost got in. And then the 4th year. And so they've done a really good job as far as that. So he was not only against the thing trying to rebuild a program, but he had to rebuild the program with all his games being on the road the first 2 years.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to do. So Lee is in the lead, 13-0 over Columbia. A really good start for the football team. You know, we had our Lou Saab Honda the Avenues keys to the game. How do you think those are playing out so far?
Well, for Columbia, not very good because they wanted to get off to a fast start tonight, and they didn't. They had the turnover which led to the first score in the first 6 minutes of the game. Winning the kicking game, I don't think they've won the kicking game. Actually, I think Lee's kicking game has been much better than theirs. They had the bad snap on that and pressure the quarterback in the mistakes, and I think that's the game plan that Lee's gone after as far as running the ball to take the pressure off the quarterback. They've done a good job of pressuring when they've had to, but not the game plan I think that they thought they were going to get. And then for Lee, control the tempo of the game. I think they've done a good job of that. They've changed it up a little bit. They've controlled the running game. They've stayed in the no huddle to run the ball. They've been physical on it and harass the quarterback, make him throw some bad balls, and they've done a good job of picking and choosing. And then they've done a great job eliminating the big play, and that's what they wanted, to make them drive the field. And so far, those three keys, they've done a really good job to them. That's why they're up 13-0.
And that is our score at halftime in our Action Sports Jax game of the week on ESPN 690. 13-0 Lee here at home over the Columbia Tigers. Lusab Honda The Avenues brings us our keys to the game. Lusab Honda The Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. We'll also have our Baker Sports Coach of the Week coming up. We'll tell you who that was this past week. That's on the way on our halftime show. We'll take a break. When we come back, a little more from halftime. And then second half, we'll see what happens. 2 quarters to play. 13-0 Lee in control over Columbia in the backyard on Action Sports Jax on ESPN 690.
Oye, amigo, it is the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
And this guy writes in, where was all this Masvidal love before his recent success? Real fans have had his back for a long time.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport, Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Your team experts offer the top brands like Under Armour and Adidas. Screen print, embroidery, and trophies all done in-house right here in Jacksonville. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker Sports.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
Now, the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week halftime show. Here's Brent Martineau.
13-0 here in the backyard. Lee over Columbia in our Action Sports Jax game of the week on ESPN 690. Brent Martin along with Kevin Sullivan. A bit of surprise here in Northeast Florida. Columbia comes into this game undefeated. Big district battle here between these two. And Lee continues to have Columbia's number, at least up until this point. That's the narrative. That's the way it's played out. We still have 2 quarters to settle this thing here in the backyard. And well, we know how things go sometimes in the backyard.
Yeah,
I knew how it did when I was growing up, at least.
It's going to be a fun second half because I guarantee you we're going to see a different Columbia team. They started playing a little bit better there, especially defensively, and I think they've realized what they're going to try to do to them. So I want to see the little game in the game. Is Lee going to stay on the run stuff, or are they going to come out and start nickel and diming and throwing it, getting back to what probably Columbia thought they were going to do?
Hey, one of the things, too, is Jordan Smith. He's a sensational player. I mean, I think you can debate whether he's the best quarterback in the area. I mean, he's been so good, so dynamic, the USF commit. But they've held him in check because one of the big parts of Smith's game, not only his arm, he's fantastic, good, special arm talent, but he can run around and
Right.
make things happen. And that's been a bit quiet. The legs have been quiet for Jordan Smith. Give credit to Lee's defense.
Yeah, again, they pick and choose on their pressure, but I still think in the back of his mind, Brent, he got knocked out last year in the game. The year before, they got to him early and knocked him out in the regular season game. And that's going to play in your mind as the quarterback, So maybe, like I said, he had a chance to run on the drive before the Lee interception. They had a chance to run, and he turned it down and threw it. So I think he's got to get all that out of his mind and just let the game flow and just play.
Well, we have our Baker Sports Coach of the Week each and every week, not only here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, but also on Tuesdays on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 from 3 to 6 with Austin Lane and myself and the rest of the Action Sports Jacks crew. And this past week, it was Tom McPherson from Orange Park. He's done a nice job out there with that program, 2-0 in district play coming into the night.
Yeah, did a really good job in overtime. They were down late, and they came back and had to score twice in the fourth quarter and then be able to get the win. He's got a couple really good players. The running back kid is phenomenal. He's a track kid, but, boy, he can go. Tom's really done a good job developing him. And then the D lineman, Kendrick Charles, has been phenomenal for him. Hard to block one-on-one, comes off the edge. They do a lot of different things with him. But Tom's did a real good job with his kids, with his program. And they got a big district game tonight and next week, too, in that district. So that's still a toss-up. So that's going to be a fun one, them in Menendez.
So congratulations to our Baker Sports Coach of the Week, Tom McPherson from Orange Park. Homegrown and ready to help the home team look good on Friday nights and every night in any sport. Baker Sports has been doing just that since 1997. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game. Looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker's Sports. These guys are just about ready to play some ball. Some homecoming festivities continue at Lee High School. The Generals lead at 13-0 over Columbia. When we come back, second half action ahead. Can the Tigers rally, or will the Generals win 4 out of 5 in this series against Columbia? Those questions get answered in just short order on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week here on ESPN 690.
Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690.
Hey, Maurice Jones-Drew, how many times did you ask for a trade while you were a player?
That's one time. I think it was when I was holding out. Kind of was like, hey, if this is the way you feel about me, maybe we can work something where I can go somewhere else.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. on ESPN 690.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
We still have a few minutes before the second half kickoff because of some homecoming festivities. So let's check in around the area with some scores. We, of course, are at our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week in the backyard here on ESPN 690. Lee beating Columbia 13-0. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan here, and all around the area in charge of all our high school coverage. Action Sports Jack, Stuart Weber. He jumps in right now during our Game of the Week here at halftime for us. Probably not halftime for you. You're always on the go. What's up, Stuart?
It actually is halftime. It's beautiful.
Good.
Great timing on my drive here. I spent the first half over at Westside. Wolverines in a 2-point hole at the break to Bishop Kenny, 16-14 in that game. Those are 2 pretty evenly matched teams, so I wouldn't be surprised if that one goes down to the wire. And speaking of evenly matched, that's what it looks like to be the case here at Commander Stadium as I come strolling onto the field. It's 7-6 at the halftime in favor of the Terry Parker Braves. I know Ed White took an early lead, 6-0. Terry Parker has since taken that lead back. and a tight one here at Ed White. So we'll see who has the upper hand in the second half of this one.
Well, listen, you can take a stroll, but don't stroll down those sidelines. That's reserved for Kevin Sullivan. That's what he used to do there at Ed White.
Yeah, I got the shorts on. I don't have a Hawaiian shirt on, though, so I don't think I'd be able to pull off the look quite so well.
Yeah,
got to have the visor, though, man.
Yeah,
got to have the visor.
And the visor. That's right. That would mess up my hair.
Sully looks like he just got off the charter fishing boat.
Hey, every day, man.
What'd you catch?
I told you I got a face for radio.
Hey, what else has happened around the area? Have you seen much else? I know some of the games just getting underway. We're a 6 o'clock start, but you just updated us on a couple. Anything else catch your eye?
Yeah, I haven't seen any of the other scores. I think I saw Stanton was leading Paxson in the Brain Bowl. Always a fun matchup between those two higher learning institutions. And, hey, I'm excited to get over to Oakley here in a little bit. I'm going to hopefully get some quick touchdowns here from the Commanders and Braves. If you guys are listening right next to me, maybe score some touchdowns. Thank you. Appreciate that. Because I got to go over to Clay County and check out Oakley against Mandarin. Ooh, that's a district game. It's a game that matters, and it's going to be a fun game, too. So I hope they save all their best stuff for the second half when I roll in.
Yeah, no doubt. One last thing for you, man. Stuart Weber joined us. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690 is Columbia and Lee, and the Generals lead 13-0. When I tell you that, how surprised are you?
Yeah, I did a live report here on Fox 30 not too long ago, and we took a live look into the game. So I got a little look there, and hey, that's a little bit of surprise now. Not necessarily that Lee's winning, but the fact that it's holding Columbia off the scoreboard. That's a pretty good task to do there for the Generals. So. We'll see what happens in the second half there. I am a little surprised by that, but I know we'll have all those highlights tonight on the Friday Night Blitz, as well as a great story down at Episcopal, where Marcel Robinson has some accompaniment there by the Jacksonville Jaguars. Marquise Lee, Dewan Smoot, both on hand as the Jaguars check out a little high school football on a Friday night. They were honorary captains tonight, so pretty cool deal that the NFL team here in town is getting out into the community and making an appearance at some high school football. So good to see that. Of course, it doesn't hurt when the head coach of the home team there happens to be a former NFL quarterback in Mark Brunell. So we'll have that story, the latest on our Reigns making of a program. Of course, they got the big one tomorrow, and all the highlights from all over the area is coming up tonight on the Friday Night Blitz.
Thanks, Weber. Have a good rest of your night. We'll look forward to the highlights tonight on the Blitz.
Sounds like a plan.
Take it easy, Stu.
All right, that's Stuart Weber, and he checks in from a couple of different spots, and he said it. Marquise Lee, Dewan Smoot dropped off a commemorative football at that game for Episcopal. It's homecoming weekend for the Jacksonville Jaguars. We got a big weekend around here. High school football, of course. Florida LSU, that one in Baton Rouge, but a huge game tomorrow night. And then the Saints and Jags and Minshew Mania and all the rest of it coming up on Sunday at the bank, so that should be a lot of fun. 10:30 on Fox 30 is our Friday Night Blitz. Stuart does a fantastic job with it. He puts it all together, and we'll have a bunch of highlights from around the area in all different games, not just this one, coming up tonight on TV, also at 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Well, the clock, they just keep adding more time. That's what happens on homecoming weekend.
Yeah.
But thankfully, we have a statistician coach, Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, and Laura Burton. She helps out. She's a junior at Nice. She helped us out a couple of weeks ago. We were at Mandarin, helping us out here in the backyard at Lee tonight, doing some stats. And, I want to take you to one stat in particular because we said Zaire Lee and the impact he made running the football. Well, on that one drive, he ran 11 yards, 9 yards, 6 yards, 4 yards, and finished it off with that 1-yard touchdown run. Kind of set the tone and actually extended the lead to a 2-score game.
Yeah, again, that's a 6-yard average that he's got in the game. And the thing that's interesting about him is he's such a strong runner, got a low center of gravity, sort of bowling ball type. He was hard to bring down. And
he
I
was
think
shedding
tacklers. He had guys bouncing off him and did a good job. And then they've changed it up a little bit. But the stat that really surprised for Lee is they're 2 of 5 for 26 yards passing. I don't know if I've ever heard O.J. Small throw the ball 5 times and a half before. He must think Kevin Sullivan's down there calling plays for him.
Well, the two that were connections were big ones.
Yes, they were.
Because it was a first down late in the second quarter, but it was the touchdown. Of course, to Gallion.
Fourth down.
That was the first completed pass, and that was a 4th down play. And just to reset this a little bit, how we got here, those first 2 drives really tell the story because Columbia marched down the field, but on 4th down, they were picked off. Jordan Smith threw it, and Lee picked it off. On the other side of things, 4th and goal from the 15-yard line, well, then it was Zara to Gallion for the touchdown. So 2 different 4th down plays.
Right.
One led to an interception, one led to a touchdown.
And again, they wanted to get started fast. They've lost 3 or 4, and that just stays in their minds, man. It stays in their minds, and the kids stays in their mind. And they were dejected coming off the half down 13-0. They looked dejected when they came out on that third drive and sort of went like 5 plays and out on that. So, again, they got to get back in to go. Maybe because it's dark out now, they'll feel like they're in a Friday night football game and everything and not playing at 6 o'clock. But I'll tell you what, Lee's really done a good job tonight. Really like what they've done.
Well, the sun has set here in the backyard, so it's a beautiful night for football, and that's the way these 6 o'clock starts have happened, right? Pretty hot in the early going as the sun goes down, but now it settles in, and just a gorgeous night here in Northeast Florida in the backyard at Lee High School as the Generals have a 13-0 lead. The band's marching off the field. Homecoming festivities done for 2019 here at halftime, and Columbia is heading back on the football field. Lee will do the same. And when we come back, we'll have second half action. Let's take a timeout. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. 2 more quarters to play. Generals lead it 13-0 over Columbia.
Golick and Wingo.
I don't know if I've ever felt worse for a kid in the league than Josh Rosen, right? It's like deja vu for him. He's going through this all again. We may never know what Josh Rosen could or could not have been because of the 2 situations he's found himself.
Golick and Wingo. Weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
As you know by now, I love the wings at Mr. Chubby's Wings. Hey, everyone, this is Brent Martineau. You'll love them, too, and you have to try the wings. But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
All right, here we go. Second half just underway, and inside the 5-yard line, it's taken by Kobe Bates, and Bates brings it across the 25 and out to the 27. And that's where Lee will start. The Generals in the lead 13-0. Columbia needs to make something happen early, at least to switch the momentum in this football game. But right now, it's been all Lee, 13-0 over the Columbia Tigers in our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. You know, I mentioned it was homecoming festivities. You corrected me. You got to trade the king and the queens for the moms and the dads.
Yeah, senior night.
It's senior night instead. I mean, I'm thinking we're halfway through the year. Senior night already?
Yeah, this might be their last home game, too.
That's what happens.
Then,
you know, homecoming lasts for like 6 weeks around the area, by the way.
Yes.
It starts in like late August, I think, and goes till early October.
If it's up to me,
and
I'd
then
have
senior
it
night
week
goes from
I'd have it week
the
1
second
and
week
get it
of
over with.
October and all the way through. All right, here we go. Lee has the football from the 27-yard line. Cole Zara has been pretty good, and he hands it off. Some pressure, and that pressure is escaped by Bates momentarily. He picks up across the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a couple. Give him 3 if you want.
Yeah, a little change it for them. They got a little tight end in there. They're in a little 2x2 with the tight end. They just bring the motion guy, and they run the play, and then they run a little quick little reverse, sort of the wing counter out of the gun. I'd call that the wing counter out of the gun.
Wing counter out of the gun.
Yep.
Maybe Mr. Chubby's Wings should try that.
Yeah.
2nd down and 7 from the 31-yard line. Early stages of the third quarter, Lee leads at 13-0, and you can almost feel the cool air coming in through the windows here as we sit in the classroom calling the game from Lee High School. Zara gets the snap, looks right, throws right, has Bates all over the place here in the second half. It's complete out across the 35, close to a first down, and out of bounds.
And now
a penalty. I got to call a late hit.
No.
Pink penalty flag comes out. This might be different than a late hit. It did come out late, though. I see the officials pointing to somewhere on the field, so not necessarily on the bench. They might be talking about exactly what you brought up. It's hard to see.
It is hard to see the sideline.
And it's such a small area. How much would you say? Maybe 8 yards, 10 yards between the fence, which is really the track,
yes,
and the actual out of bounds on the sideline? It's not a lot of room.
No, it's not, and to me that didn't look like it was a late hit. He waved it off.
He did.
The head guy saw that. I told him it was a good crew.
Well, that at least keeps you off them for momentarily.
Yeah, keep me off of them. I just get excited.
3rd and 1 now, a short one. No penalty on the play. And now we have a timeout. Let's try to figure this out as you listen to the band play.
Yeah, it's 3rd down. They got second on the chart. On the side marker, the down marker says second. Is 3rd down. They got 4 on 1st down and then 5 on 2nd down.
Yep. The scoreboard is correct. It says 3rd and 1 from the 38, and that's accurate. It should be accurate.
Yeah,
there we go.
They had a down snafu last year. Wait a minute.
Oh, they didn't. They kept it 2nd down on the side. We'll see what that means. Either way, they need a yard for a 1st down, and well, Zara has it. He keeps it, and he might be across the 1st down line anyway. And he is. And they did change it to 3rd down. So no replay of last year.
No
controversy.
Not yet. Again, Lee's come out, going to run the ball. They're in no hurry. They're up 13-0. Going to stay in what they want to do. They're playing a bunch of different offensive linemen and moving some guys around a little bit. They've done a good job with the front guys. 55's in there doing a nice job. Craig Harper. He gets a little bit of offense. They got a tight end in, number 4, who's also a DN.
Well, the snap now and the handoff to Doles, and Doles will be pushed back after not getting much. Nice push by the defensive front of the Tigers. Not much was doing there for Lee.
Yeah, they got a good push in there. 43's in there. One of the Jaden Tolston had to play for Ponds. One of their best players we saw, 44.
He was good.
Got hurt in, I want to believe, the Oakleaf game. Tarek Ponds, the defensive lineman, a senior, he thinks they may get him back, hopefully, for a playoff push. But he was a really good high school football player inside. Really good player.
They lost Jace Hosky, the wide receiver, in the first game we did against Trinity. He could be back for the playoffs, too. Talking about Columbia. 2nd down, Zara gets a snap, now looks to run, but he's going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. And that is a nice play by Columbia's Dalen Lumpkin, who's also playing a bit injured.
Yeah, that was a good play. That was a payback for that 15-yarder he got there right before the half. But they sort of closed it. It looked like they had 2 guys running the same route. The motion guy ran an arrow, and then the back ran an arrow. And I think somebody might have gone the wrong spot right there. So, again, big 3rd down here, 3rd about 15.
I say playing a little injured. Everybody is about this time of year, right halfway through. 3rd down and long for Lee. Trips to the left, 2 receivers right. Zara's just going to keep it. Columbia reads it perfectly, and they stop it. They'll get off the field in a hurry. Really nice play by Columbia's Marlon Pollock.
Yeah, brought him off the edge. Again, they sort of loaded up on him and sort of challenged him there to try to get the ball off. Again, I didn't think Lee was going to do anything crazy there on that 4th and long to get the momentum change, but that's a big stop. They got a little momentum, a little juice. Columbia right now. We'll see how this punt goes.
This is where everything can change sometimes. That's special teams. Lee kicked a good one the last time.
That's number 99.
Jai Robinson does the honors. Defensive lineman. And he gets a low boot here. This one
returnable.
Is returnable by Bradley. He's got it at his own 30-yard line. And gets brought down maybe across the 35. So well defended on the punt coverage by Lee. And Columbia comes out on the football field with their offense for the first time in the second half, and they need to make something happen.
Yeah, they got to get back. They got to take what they give him, too. I think he's trying to force the ball a little bit too much. I think he's just got to relax, play his game, and take what Lee's giving you.
Well, they'll have the ball at their own 36-yard line. Jordan Smith trying to make some magic happen. He's done it so many times before. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Kyle Callum's been somewhat quiet. Off his left hip, Smith keeps it himself, trying to get the running game going, and he's brought down in the open field. What a heck of a tackle by Larry Smith. He's got an interception and put that one with an exclamation point, too, because that's a nice play.
Yeah, that was a really good play one-on-one there. Again, it was a little zone read, which we talked about. Hadn't take off, tried to run anything off the edge, off the outside, and they did it right there, but Lee responded, made a good play, Larry Smith.
I'll give him a pickup of 1, so it's out to a 2nd and 9 now. 7:40 and counting to go in the third quarter. Columbia's first possession of the second half. They need to make something happen. Bell goes in motion. Smith fumbles the football on the snap, now picks it up, throws it, has a receiver, it's caught, it's Bell near sideline, makes a move inside, down to the 30, and that's where he'll be brought down. What an athletic play by Jordan Smith. Fumbled the snap on the low snap, picked it up, found Bell, knew right where he was, and that's a huge gain.
Yeah, Porter makes a good touchdown, same time, but again, he couldn't think about that play. He just reacted and played. He wasn't thinking about it, reacted and played.
I tell you what, dude, Marcus Bell, fun to watch. They
he
got to
is
get
fun.
the football in Bell and Bradley's hands.
That's what we talked about, yep.
7:15 to go in the third quarter. And now Columbia once again on the move. They've been able to move the football. They haven't been able to cash in. 1st and 10 from the 30 of Lee. Trips to the right. 1 receiver left. Jordan Smith barking out signals, gets a snap, looks downfield to his left. It's almost picked off. Instead, it's caught by Tolliver. He breaks a tackle, and he's into the end zone. That was almost intercepted. Risk reward, and the reward goes to Tolliver, the freshman from Jordan Smith. And they've on the board with a touchdown.
Man, Jonathan Robinson, the corner, jumped that ball. I thought he picked it off, and all of a sudden, Tolliver's right there, makes the catch, outraces him to the end zone, but that's what they needed to get a little spark offensively.
You said it. I said it during the call. I thought he picked it off. I mean, he had such a beat on that. I have no idea how that ball got to Tolliver without either getting deflected, incomplete, or picked.
Right.
But it happened.
Right through his hands.
And
Crazy
Tolliver made the play. Smith had enough on it, and they're on the board, and we've got ourselves a football game here in the backyard. Now the extra point. It's blocked. It was a high snap. It was handled okay by the holder, but delayed the timing of that kick.
Again, they haven't been very solid in the kicking game, I can tell you that. But boy, that was a heck of a catch right there by the youngster. He's got one-on-one by himself, and the freshman right there, Trey Tolliver, just sort of sticks it, run a little bender, little post in there, and he threw it. Again, both of us, we were like, oh no, touchdown, you know. That's what the coaches probably thought the same thing too. But boy, that was a great catch, good concentration, good ball too. He throws that a little bit behind him, it's picked. He throws that a little higher, it's probably picked too. Again, good drive for them. They needed that bad.
The youngster Tolliver, freshman, he's a good-looking player, and he's been involved here in this football game tonight. 13-6 is now our score with 6:53 to go in the third quarter, and that's exactly what Columbia needed. They got a nice defensive stand on the first possession by Lee coming out of the gates in the third quarter, and then they go right downfield. A big play, Jordan Smith to Marquez Bell, and then Smith to Tolliver for the touchdown, and we've got a 13-6 football game. Now, keep an eye on that extra point.
Yes.
Because, well, it's a 7-point game, and that could come up big a little bit later on. Now the kickoff, end over end, taken around the 12-yard line. It's Bates again. He's got a little seam now across the 30 out to the 32, and that seam was closed up in the middle of the football field. That's where Lee will take over.
Yeah, really good coverage there. It starts looked like he had a little bit, and they closed on him pretty good. But about good return, though. Ball's about 34, but it looks like Bates getting up a little slow.
Well, Bates been heavily involved, too, in this third quarter. He returns kicks, and they got him the ball in the jet sweep. They got him the ball on a pass play. So keep an eye on number 6. Timothy Gallion, near side, split out. He caught the touchdown, the first touchdown of the game for Lee. Cole Zara is the quarterback. Looks over to the sideline as they change play. And keep an eye on big number 23. Zaire Lee is in the football game. But before we do all that, we've got a penalty. And it's a false start on Lee. So that will back him up to 1st and 15. And
Yeah, I think the center put his hand on the ball and then took his hand off the ball.
I think that's what it was. I think I saw the official signal that as well. So that cost him 5 yards. They'll back up to the 28-yard line. 29.
Yeah, Lee's offensive line, they've done a real good job. Carl Flowers, Shaquille Brown, Jerome McKenzie, they've done a really nice job tonight.
Trips to the left, receiver right, the handoff to Zaire Lee. Is there a fumble?
Nice fumble.
The ball come loose.
It's out.
Columbia says they have it, and the Tigers do have it. They come away with a football in Lee territory, and a big play by the Tigers defense, and the momentum has officially changed.
Looks like, guess who got the ball? Number 15, but all over the place. The sophomore Mike linebacker, Jaden Dunn, has been tremendous for them this year. Tremendous.
That ball popped loose from Zaire Lee right away as he entered the line, and Dunn is able to come up with it. And that puts Jordan Smith and this offense back on the football field, trailing by 7, 13-6 here in the third quarter, 6:34 to go. So a lot of football to be played here in the backyard at Lee High School on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690.
Yeah, again, that was a huge turnover right there. Sort of like these teams changed their identity coming out in the second half.
4 wide receiver set as usual. Callum in the backfield with Smith. Smith takes a shotgun snap, looks right. The left-handed quarterback throws down the field, and it should have been picked off. It bounced right off the defender on the far side of the football field. I think it was Tavelis Thomas.
Yeah,
and incomplete.
Yeah, boy, those are the ones you cannot drop those against these guys. Myers, I don't think ever saw the ball. I thought it was going to go to the short guy on the slot right there.
Jordan Smith just sailed that one a bit. He threw it right to Thomas, and he couldn't hang it. Now there's a fumble, and they gave it right back as Callum and Smith have a mix-up on the exchange, and now they're shouting at each other a little bit. So frustration on the Columbia offense. Right after they get a turnover, they give it right back. They tried to give it back on the previous play. It wasn't picked off, and now they fumble it. So Lee takes over, and it's like the last minute and a half didn't happen.
Yeah, it was. They were running the little zone read, and Jordan Smith went to pull it, and I think Kellum just sort of held on to it a little bit and just dropped it right there. But they were sort of like getting on each other, both sort of. So I don't know whose fault that was, but I know the quarterback knows it's the running back's fault. The running back knows it's the quarterback's fault. That's all I can say on that one.
I think that was just a little competitive nature and frustration going right there. 6:25 to go in the third. So now Zara has it, and he runs into his own player on the end round, and that play goes absolutely nowhere as the timing gets thrown off. Lee tries to get a bit tricky, and he handed it to Bates, but Bates and Zara collided.
Right. Yeah, it was like they were running a little option reverse on it, a little speed option reverse on it. We're going to get a water break timeout here, Brent.
Let's take one as well. We've had a lot of action here in the early third quarter. So much more to go. Our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week. Lee leads it 13-6. 6:03 to play in the third quarter on ESPN 690.
Golick and Wingo are coming to Jacksonville for the Florida-Georgia game.
Hey, everybody. Trey Wingo. I want to invite you to come watch us do our show live from Intuition Ale Works on Friday, November 1st. To register for your chance to win VIP passes, go to ESPN690.com.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options, and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Second down and 14 from their 28, and Lee completes a pass to the far side of the field. If you're watching on the video, it's your near side because we're on the opposite side. But pick up for Lee on 2nd and 14 from their own 28. They get it out to the 36-yard line. So a nice pickup makes it manageable. Third down for the Generals.
Yeah, they went max protect, kept both backs in that time because they're bringing some pressure. Columbus bringing some pressure. Both backs gave them time to throw it. And now it's third down about 7.
That's from just outside the 35-yard line. Lee called it the 36. Everybody looking to the Lee sideline for the play. Bunched up in the backfield. Zara has some company. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Zara looks to his right. Now gets flushed. Spins away. Going left. Tries to come back, and he can't make it happen because guess who? There's your guy, Coach Jaden Dunn on the sack. He keeps coming up with big plays for the Columbia defense.
Yeah, Jaden was down there running out, chasing him off the blitzer. And Daylon Lumpkin was in there too, but Camel brought a lot of pressure off this edge on that time to bring up 4th down. He was complaining to the official about getting tackled on the previous play, but that was a really big series for them, and they get a chance to get the ball back.
Well, that forces Lee to punt the football away as we approach 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and this game has been wild here in the third. A couple of turnovers, a score by Columbia. And it's 13-6. Lee's in the lead, punting the football. Jai Robinson has done a pretty nice job of that. He's back at his own 12-yard line. And now we've got a whistle on the snap, which might be a good thing for Lee because that wasn't pretty.
Delay a game.
Benedrick Bradley is back at his own 45-yard line. So Columbia is set to get pretty good field position if they can secure the punt.
Yeah, Jai Robinson, 99, the D lineman, has punted the ball pretty well.
Yeah.
But they had a little problem on the snap. They're probably lucky on that one.
So here we go. The snap this time is good. Robinson gets it up and away, and it's a nice punt around the midfield. Takes a Columbia bounce just for a yard, and it's down at the 49-yard line. So like I mentioned, good field position ahead for Jordan Smith and Columbia. Down a touchdown. They've made mistakes, but here they are right in the football game and a chance to go in for a tying score.
Yeah, again, they turned it back over. They got the turnover, then turn it right back over. Should turn it over the play before, too, on the dropped interception. But, again, they got to just get back and just sort of do what they did before. They just threw a couple short passes and then got an opportunity to hit the big one. Got to get the ball to the playmakers and let them do their thing.
So this possession starts on the 49-yard line. Brent Martin along with Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks game of the week. We're in the backyard, Lee High School, hosting Columbia in a big district battle. 4:50 to go in the third, 13-6, Lee in the lead. Jordan Smith, similar 4 wide receivers, gives to Callum. This time a clean exchange, and now we have a flag on the play as Callum gets down inside the 45-yard line.
Looks like face mask on Lee. Looked like one of the D linemen got an arm out, and he sort of grabbed onto it. That's what the umpires sort of signaled to the head referee. Face mask.
You called it.
Usually it's holding or face mask when the umpire's throwing a call.
Well, that'll be a first down for Columbia as the ball marches out to the Lee 39. It actually won't be a first down, Coach. They called it the 5-yard variety. And so it brings up first down and 1. This time Smith keeps it. No exchange problems. Rolls right, gets the first down. And kind of tripped up around the 35-yard line. But gets down to the 33, 32.
Yeah, again, he hadn't done much of that running in the first half. They've tried to do it a little bit more in the second half. So that's something we've got to keep an eye on. Let him see if they'll beat you with his legs.
The ball's at the 32-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Columbia. They have a chance to tie the football game up on this drive. 4.5 minutes to go in the third. Hand off to Callum. Callum bounces it right, but good penetration by the Lee defense. And maybe Callum gets a couple. Well defended.
Yeah, that's a good job in there by those inside guys. And the middle linebacker, 30, has been really active. Jeremy Porter did a good job. The offensive line here for Columbia in the second half has done a really nice job sort of keeping them off on the throws and getting a little run game going.
2nd down and 8 from the 35. Smith out of the shotgun. It looks right. Has a receiver right, and it's broken up. Myers is who he was going for, but nice recovery by Lee's defense. They break up the pass play.
Yeah, that's Jaqueen Singletary, one of the top DBs in the class of 2022. Could be the number 1 corner in Florida, class of 2022. He's playing a little bit more safety today to help him run around and move, but had real good leadership for his teammates today. Don't really return a lot of guys on defense, Lee. So he's one of those key clogs, played a lot of games as a true freshman.
Singletary's long, 6'2" as a sophomore, playing in the back end there. So now it's 3rd and 8. Could be 4-down territory. Jordan Smith in the shotgun now steps up and runs. Down inside the 35-30. Has a first down around the 20-yard line. And he signals first down. He's got it. They move the chains. And Columbia is marching in.
Yeah, he's starting to feel a little bit better about it. And not, he's sort of just letting the game play out. He's doing a really good job. That's a really good scramble. Couldn't do that in the first half. Again, Lee did a nice job bringing a little blitz pressure. And we'll see if they're going to continue to do that. But they've had a lot of success when they brought pressure on him.
He made a quick decision to say, you know what, I'm getting out of here. And he picked up the first down. 3.5 and counting in the third. 13-6, Lee leads it. Columbia on the move at the 20, 1st and 10. Smith looks right, just off the fingertips of his receiver, Tolliver, who he hit for the touchdown earlier in the quarter.
Yeah, again, they need to probably take that inside. They're bringing that inside pressure. I'm surprised they haven't taken the number 3 receiver and got him more over the middle of the field, away from where the safety is. They'd have him wide open on that. So it brings up 2nd and 10. Somebody's got to make a play here for Lee.
3:17, the clock is stopped to go in the third, 13-6. Jordan Smith in the shotgun, gets a snap, looks left, has a receiver left. It's caught around the 12-yard line, and I think that's Tolliver again.
That's Bell.
That's Bell. Bell on the near side of the football field for us. Steps out of bounds, and it'll bring up a 3rd and short. Just a simple pass and catch from Smith to Bell.
Yeah, they're bracketing him on that, and they got a guy underneath. Fell down.
And now they move quickly. The snap and the fake to Callum. Smith tried to dive forward, but he got tripped up along the way, and I think he comes up short. So now it brings up 4th down.
See what they've got to. Every coach usually has a good 2-point play or a 4th down play we've got to have, and we'll see what they're dialing up on this right now.
So here's the deal: 4th down and a yard from the 11-yard line. Similar set the entire game. 4 wide receivers. Callum will join Smith in the backfield. And now
they got a delay
a game. Not a timeout, but a delay a game. We'll see if there was a signaled timeout. I think Brian Allen or some of the players are trying to say that. And they have already moved the football back to the 16-yard line. So bring up 4th and 6 if it stands.
What are they doing?
I don't know what's going on. There's a lot of jumping around, trying to figure this out.
They called delay a game. And then I don't know why both officials went off on the side. I mean, both teams went to the sideline.
Yeah, because I think they thought there was a timeout. I think somebody thought there was a timeout on the field.
All right, so the 9-yard line's the first down, right? Is that what you're getting?
It's a 10.
10? Okay.
So here it is, 4th and 6, 2:29 to go in the third. After the delay of game, that's a costly one. Made it 4th and 1 to 4th and 6. They bunch up a little bit on the left side, 2 receivers, 2 to the right. Jordan Smith claps his hands, get the shotgun pass. Now he looks to scamper. He has a little room, has the first down to the 10, 8, down to the 7-yard line. Did the ball pop out at the end? No, it didn't. He kept it. First down, Columbia, after the big run by Jordan Smith, and he's using his legs here in the third quarter.
Yeah, again, Lee did a nice job. They faked the blitz coming off the edge, and then they dropped everybody off. They were trying to wall their guys off. He's sort of taking this game over a little bit right here.
They put it at the 8-yard line. 1st and goal. The give to Callum, and Callum gets swallowed up by that front of Lee. They were all over. Number 22.
Yeah, again, bringing those inside guys, bringing that inside pressure, sort of playing man with a guy in the hole over the top. I look for him to try to get the little quick screen out here to Bradley or to Bell. That's what I think. They're hitting the way they're playing it, the way Columbia's playing it. They've got the extra guys walk down the outside backers. They get a little pick play right here. They could be in good shape.
Bell and Bradley off to the left. Now Bradley goes into the backfield, so Callum's back there with Smith. Smith fakes the handoff, looks for Bell, and has him in the corner of the end zone, right at the pylon, and that's a touchdown for Columbia. Good throw, good catch, and the Tigers are an extra point away from tying this game up in the backyard.
Yeah, he threw that only where his guy could catch that, right about a yard inside the pylon and a yard back. They run a little wiggle out route on that. He put it right there, only his guy could catch it. Again, they got to get the ball to playmakers, and they did. Big extra point here.
The previous extra point was blocked after a high snap, so keep an eye on it. Zach Williams doing the kicking duties. 13-12 game, late in the third. They await the snap. The snap is good. The hold is good. The kick is up, and it is good. And we're all tied up in our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. We got a little streak going here, Coach Sullivan. Back-to-back good games.
Yes, we need them back-to-back good games. Last week was great, and late score overtime game. We've had a lot of score, but I don't know if you feel like it. It looks like they said, okay, we played a good first half. Now, Columbia, you go ahead and play the second half. We're going to hang on like you guys did in the first half. But Lee's got to get back in what they were doing offensively. But I think Columbia's turned the pressure up defensively.
They certainly have got it done defensively.
Yes.
And they had another chance to score, if not for a fumble for Jordan Smith and Kyle Callum on the exchange. So this has been a dominating third quarter for Columbia. The undefeated Tigers coming in here to the backyard. They've lost 3 out of the last 4 to Lee. They trailed 13-0 at halftime. And now they've tied this thing up late in the third with 1 minute and 28 seconds to go in the third frame here at Lee High School. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, we got a good one.
Good.
Thanks for hanging with us. And again, if you're listening, we appreciate it. ESPN 690, ESPN690.com. But you could also watch the game on our video platforms, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. Check it out on Action Sports Jacks and on ESPN 690. The kickoff is a good one, down to the 8-yard line. Bates has it, crosses the 20, but that's all he'll get around the 21-yard line as it's well defended.
He's still up.
He's still on the feet. How did he stay on his feet? I
don't know. I thought it was a rugby scrum and the ball was out for a minute.
He's down at the 25, but I don't know how the heck he survived that pile. It didn't go down.
Twice. He was like going over that way, and then he just scrummed back, and then all of a sudden he popped out again. So really good kickoff by Rigdon. Really good kickoff down about the 6-yard line. Good coverage. Ball's on the 25. We got us a good game going on here now, Brent. Good game.
So Lee starts the possession at their 25. They haven't had much doing on offense this half. In fact, they've had nothing doing on offense this half. Zara back there. Lee joins him in the backfield. Now Doles goes in motion, and they give it to Bates. And Bates has kind of been the guy here in the second half. Gets it up the middle to about the 26-yard line. It's not a bad pickup of 6.
Yeah, 50's got up a little slow that time. You know, he's playing hurt.
Yeah, he's
the
grabbing
nose
that
guard.
left shoulder.
Yeah,
It's
he's
a shoulder
been
injury.
playing
I think
hurt.
he's hurt with.
Dalton Lumpkin been playing hurt, and he's been real active in the third quarter.
He comes off the field on this play, takes his helmet off. So hopefully he's okay. Inside a minute to go in the third now. 2nd and 4. Just outside the 30-yard line. Zara being pressured, tries to escape. He does momentarily, crosses the line of scrimmage, maybe gets out to the 37. And Columbia has another player down, and this could be a big one. Keep an eye on number 15, Jaden Dunn, who limps off the field under his own power. He's actually hopping off the field. Now he's going to take a seat as the trainers come and see him.
Yeah, it looks like it's his ankle.
Jaden Dunn has been fantastic here tonight.
Yeah, he's been all over the field. He's their leading tackler. Coming into the game, he had 72 tackles, about 3 sacks, but he was sort of their guy that Coach Allen said was sort of their unsung guy. They didn't know much about him. They knew he was going to be a good player, but they'd never imagined how big a part he is, and they can't afford to lose him.
We're taking a look at him right now, and we'll take a break here on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 as they take a look at Jaden Dunn, who's had a fantastic game. When we come back, more third quarter action. We're all tied up in the backyard. 13-13 is our score. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. I think we'll keep it here instead as Dunn is coming off the field and being helped off the field. So not a good scene for Jaden Dunn, who's been fantastic. We already mentioned.
He's putting a little bit of weight down on it. I think it's his ankle. That's what it sort of looked like. I don't think it's his knee. But he seems to be putting some weight on it a little bit better. You know, it's going to be hard to keep him out. They got to tape that thing up, rub a little dirt on it, and get him back out there. They got to have him.
He was back around the quarterback, and that's where he got injured. And now, as the clock continues to move, we're down to 10 seconds. Lee's no hurry. I think they're going to run the rest of the clock out here in the third And we're going to go to the fourth quarter in the backyard, all tied up at 13. How about this? What a fun one we've got. Our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Went to overtime last week in the graveyard. What will we do tonight here in the backyard? Find out on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690 right after this.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
How have binoculars and just the general discomfort that comes with using binoculars, how have we not improved that?
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stuttgarts on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at hondaoftheavenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Back in action in the fourth quarter as we get going. Bates got the pitch and didn't really get too much out of it on third down. It was 3rd and 4. It'll bring up 4th down for the Lee Generals in a tie football game. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan in the backyard. Lee High School 13, Columbia High School 13. As we begin the fourth quarter in our Game of the Week.
Yeah, that was a play they tried to run earlier where the quarterback and the reverse guy ran into each other, that little wing counter flip play. But I didn't really do much for them. They weren't filled. They're bringing a lot of pressure. They're almost daring Lee to throw now, Lake City. You know, they're almost daring them to throw.
Jai Robinson in the punt now, and he's been pretty good. He'll need a good one here. Lenadrick Bradley back to return the kick. Now all the momentum on Columbia's side. Low snap. Robinson handles it. Just kicks a line driver that gets a good roll, not returnable, and down to about the 31-yard line. If you looked at that punt in the box score, you say, that's a pretty good punt. If you watched it, that might have been a nice break.
That was about 44 yards, Brent. It went about 4 foot high in the air. And then end over end and hit the ground at about 10 yards and then rolled all the way back down there.
That was like skipping a rock.
Yeah. And your guy's not going to feel that unless that thing bounces right to him.
And I tell you what, the way Bradley can break them, it's never a bad thing if they're not getting a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
I think O.J. Small will take that. A couple scores from 6A. St. Augustine leads 21-10 at the half over Matanzas. And Ponte Vedra 40-0 over Inglewood.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Columbia now has the ball. They hand it to Callum, and he's got a hole up the middle to start this drive out to the 44-yard line and a first down for Kyle Callum.
Yeah, Larry Smith, touchdown saving tackle there. He came in and laid out one-on-one. Good open field tackle. Again, I think they sort of got him a little bit. It looked like he was changing the play, and then they just snapped it and ran it. So I think that was it the whole time.
That might be set up a little bit by Jordan Smith, too, because he's kept a bunch of them in the second half. He's really got it going with his legs, and you have to play against that. You have to defend that. Trips to the right, one to the left. Smith spins it out to Bradley. Bradley's got it now across the 45 to the 47, but pretty well defended play on the little bubble screen.
Yeah, good
by
hustle.
Columbia.
Yeah, good hustle by the league guys running to the ball. Pollock's there again. He's done a good job, 30. He's been all over the field. He's a junior. Not a real big guy, but, boy, he can cover a lot of ground.
So it brings up 2nd and 7. 10:50 to go in the game, 13-13. All the momentum with Columbia. They hand it to Callum, and he dives ahead for 2 yards, and that's it.
Yeah, outside guy, good number 20 down, bringing the outside linebacker coming off the edge. He's had a real active night, Maurice Heath. He's done a good job of disguising when he's coming and when he's not coming. Big third down for Columbia right here.
I was too generous. I gave him 2 yards. I don't even think he got anything. Back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. So it springs up 3rd and call it 7 from the 47 of Columbia. 4 wide receivers set. Callum still in the backfield on the right hip of Smith. The snap. Smith looks right, and he has a receiver in Bell, and Bell breaks through. He's going to go down to the 20, inside the 15, and what a tackle. A game-saving, potentially, a touchdown-saving tackle, but Columbia's got a first down and goal.
Isaiah Jones made that tackle, but boy, that was a throw right between about three lead defenders right there, and put it right on the money, and the catch and the explosion after the catch was very impressive.
They split the defense right there with that pass and catch, and Bell took off.
Yeah, but that ball was put right on the money. That's the only place he could have thrown that ball. And he reared back and saw it and put it right in the hole right there. Boy, that's tough to defend. That Lee's got to make the tackle. He sort of got skinny, got bounced off a guy. And, boy, if Isaiah Jones doesn't make that stop, that'd be 6 points. But, again, seems like the play that's got them going, Columbia, was the bad snap, picked up by Jordan, rolled to his left, and just sort of threw the ball where he thought Bradley was going to be on the first drive, on the first touchdown drive of the third quarter.
Yeah, it was a big play at the time because it was a big gain, and a couple plays later it was a touchdown to Tolliver. Injured player for Lee gets off the field and looked to be okay. We'll see. Hopefully that's right. Inside 10 minutes to go now. And they'll call it first and goal from the 10 on a big play. Maybe the stunner on that play is I couldn't believe he didn't score. So here we go. Jordan Smith keeps the football, run to left, almost trips, now inside the 10, inside the 5 perhaps, and we've got a flag late.
I think we got a piling on. I think that's a late hit on Lee right there.
I've seen Smith run left a couple of times, having a hard time keeping his feet.
Yeah, it's almost like when he pulls it, he wants to get out there so fast. So they picked that flag up. I think they thought the ball came out. Looks like they're down there, Brent, about the 2.
Yeah, I would say that's about right. Now under center goes Smith, and he tries the quarterback sneak, and the Lee Generals are all over that. Very nice job defensively.
It's third down here.
So third, and right now the scoreboard calling it 3. And we are so far away from the play, we'll trust the scoreboard. You can see better than us on the video feed. This time they'll operate out of the shotgun. Coming up on 9 minutes to go in the game. Tied at 13. Third and goal from the 3. And now a flag.
I think the wideout might have jumped.
Delay again?
Nope, jumped off the wideout up top. False start. He sort of wanted to see what they were going to, where the blitz was coming. I think they were going to run speed option to the right. It looked like they were setting that up, see where the blitz was coming.
Well,
that'll give him a little room, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, depends. If you're sunshine and rainbows, that will give them room to operate. If you're more on the cynic side of things, that drops them back to the 8. Third and goal from the 8. Choose your stance. Inside 9 minutes to go. Tied up at 13. We got a good one here in the backyard. Columbia on the move. Here's the snap to Smith. He drops back. Now he's being pressured. Spin move. He escapes it. Now looks downfield. Back of the end zone. Has a receiver.
Touchdown.
What a catch. And a touchdown for the Columbia Tigers. They have taken the lead. I think that's the freshman again, Tolliver.
I'll tell you what. He threw that ball only where Tolliver could catch it running along the back line. Or was that Bell? But he threw that ball, and that wideout went up to get that. That was a really impressive throw. First, he had to elude the rush. Great throw, but an unbelievable catch right there by the wide receiver.
And that's why Jordan Smith might be the best player in the area. That's Tolliver again, the freshman.
Wow.
That's 2 for him. What a catch in the back of the end zone.
Just to be able to trust your freshman in that situation. But boy, he got up on that play, Brent. That was really impressive.
And now Columbia has taken the lead, and they try to add to it with an extra point. Williams will attempt it, and there's some movement. Well, Jordan Smith has come alive.
Yes.
You know, I said at halftime, they've held him in check. Hasn't done much with his legs. They really got after it with his legs here in the second half. And there you see it again. Yep. Even though the arm finishes the play, that play was made with his ability to get out of there, his escapability.
And keeping his eyes downfield to find it. But they jumped offside, so Columbia's going to go for 2. This is big.
Interesting.
Yes, very interesting. So they move it up half the distance, so it's 1.5. And it's one play, it's the extra point, going for 2.
Callum will join Smith in the backfield. Out of the shotgun. Snap, the give, into the end zone for the two-point conversion. And that's a score. Two more. Jaylen Brown getting it done. The sophomore adds 2 for the Tigers. They've scored 21 unanswered here in the second half. And it's 21-13, Columbia.
Yeah, you got to give credit to the offensive line. Darius Kimball, the right tackle, Jacob Jones, Marvin Farmer, the center, Tyler Ford, and Nate Wilmsley. They did a really good job. It's a yard and a half, but they brought in a set they hadn't been in tonight. You got to have your 2-point play in your pocket, and they came back and knocked it out, got in there. Real good job by those guys right there. That was big. That's an 8-point game now. Puts a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure on Lee.
Well, the one thing with the kicking game of Lee at times this year, you wonder if they would even kick if they were to get in that situation anyway.
You're right.
So still a one-score game essentially with the 2-point conversion. You could call it a 2-point score, but right in striking distance. I think right now the momentum is so much on Columbia's side. It's more the psyche of the Lee Generals. Can they bounce back through the adversity? 8.5 to play in the game. We've got another good one. Fantastic football game a week ago on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Reigns won in overtime on a 2-point conversion over Sandalwood.
Right.
And here we are again. Lee led 13-0 over undefeated Columbia at halftime. Well, now, all of a sudden, with 8.5 minutes to go in the game, Columbia has bounced back with 21 unanswered, and they lead at 21-13. A little kickoff trouble as we have some false start.
You can't get a delay. You got a minute after the 2-point play to even put the ball in play.
I want to celebrate a little bit, Coach.
No. I'm fine with it, but
you can't get it out of your system.
No, you just see me when I watch college games. It's the same way. I'm like, what are you doing? That's like my favorite thing. What are you doing?
See, that's why you retired the first time and then came back.
Yeah, and I should have stayed out. I had no gray hair the second time.
See, if you had just stayed out, you'd be well beyond it.
I know. Oh, I love it. They do a good job, too, the officials, man. They do a good job. It is part of the game. Most of the guys just ignored me anyway. So.
That wasn't on officials that time. That was on Columbia. They got to get the kick off, and here they are after they back it up 5 yards.
Yeah.
They're going to try a little pooch kick, and Lee catches it, gets hammered for it, but it's Lee's football. So a nice job on the play for Lee to be able to capture that. That's Maurice Heath. I think he's had a nice football game.
Maurice should have fair caught that, just taking it there, avoided the hit. But, again, didn't want to give, they've been close. Carlton, Kobe Bates had been close a couple times on the kickoff return. They didn't want to take no chances. And they've been playing so good on defense. I don't think Lee's gotten a first down this half, Brent.
Well, and that's one of those where you give them pretty good field position, but not unbelievable. They'll have it at the 41-yard line.
And it's 4-down territory for Lee this late in the game anyway. So
8:26 to go in the football game. Lee gets its chance now. They've been shut out in the second half, and now all of a sudden they trail 21-13. Zara hands it to Zaire Lee. Lee up the gut, but a host of Columbia tacklers there a couple yards later. And we might have a face mask at the end of it. Well, Lee gets up. It doesn't even have a helmet on.
We got a blow to the head down here. I think that's what he just called. And I don't know if that was a blow. Never mind. But we got a penalty on Columbia. I want to say that was 16 or in the game. He's taken Jaden Dunn's spot to Savion Lee, another sophomore in there.
Yeah, we saw it to Savion Lee quite a bit, I think, that opener against Trinity Christian.
Yeah, they moved him inside. So, again, that's an interesting penalty there. But it's a first down, move the chains. And I don't know how many positive yards Lee's had in the second half. It wasn't penalty aided. So, again.
Yeah, that 15 helps.
Yes, that's big for them. And, again, they're at 4-down territory right here anyway. So,
well, the ball moves to the Columbia side of the football field from the 43-yard line now, 1st and 10. So a big play. Doles goes in motion. Zara keeps it up the middle, has a hole down inside the 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, and he's going to score, but the ball comes loose. He scored first. They call it a touchdown as the ball popped out at the end. Cole Zara right up the right side. It was a run call all the way, and he went all the way.
That'll bring a little life to him. Has a really good hustle play. I think it was Campbell on the hustle play, and he sort of looked like he ripped it out or not. Like Columbia people need to be careful. They don't want to get any penalties here.
I tell you what, the Columbia folks don't think it's a touchdown. They think the ball popped loose prior to. But I just watched our video feed. There's a little bit of delay on the video, so it's like a replay.
Right,
see how this works? And I think they made the right call. I think it's a touchdown.
Think he's in? Yeah.
From my vantage point, I think it's a touchdown.
I thought he looked like he was in, and he pulled it as he crossed, too, on that one. And
it was close, though.
Yeah, the official was standing on the goal line.
It wasn't Leon Lett. Because this thing ball was ripped out from behind.
No.
And he was running hard. It was just a never-give-up play by Columbia.
Yes.
And they almost pulled that ball loose. So here we go. That's a touchdown. And it's 21-19 after the big play by Zara.
It's a 2-point attempt right here. Big play for the game.
A lot of game to go. 7:53 left. But here's a chance to tie it up. There was a flag on the play, too, that they ended up throwing. And I think that might have been a sideline warning.
Yeah, I think it was sideline warning.
So here we go. Big Zaire Lee in the backfield with Zara.
Down here.
They give it to Lee, and Lee's got it, and we're all tied up again in the backyard. Columbia 21, Lee 21. What a response by the Generals.
Yeah, it looked like that's the spot Jaden Dunn would have been. It looked like when they ran the play, the outside backer off the blitzer came up the field, and he just bended it right down up underneath it. I think that was the spot where maybe Jaden would not being in there. Might have been the touchdown run, too, not being in there. But again, man, plenty of time. But we got a little excitement. It's 21-21. This is what we signed up for tonight, Brent.
This is it. 2 weeks in a row from the graveyard to the backyard, I say. And overtime last week, and what might we be headed for this week here in the backyard at Lee High School. 21-all. An exciting second half. Fireworks all over the place. 13-0 Lee led in the halftime. And then 21 unanswered by Columbia, including a touchdown in the fourth quarter and a 2-point conversion. But Cole Zara, the quarterback, from 43 yards out, just went almost untouched until that final yard. And a 2-point conversion by Zaire Lee, and we're all knotted up at 21 here on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Thanks for hanging out with us. You can watch the video feed, by the way, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Check it out. And thanks for listening on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com. The kickoff end over end, taken about the 8-yard line and brought back near side. Nice return across the 35 out to the 40, and it's hard to tell where out of bounds is, but that's good field position to start for Columbia.
Yeah, Shaheem Brown, really good return. They got at least up to midfield, I want to believe, if not right on the other side of it.
That was the first time they put Shaheem Brown with a chance to return it, or had a chance to return it in this game, and he made the most of it. Get the football right around midfield to start this possession.
Again, a lot of time. I haven't seen Jaden Dunn moving around on the sideline, Brent. Have you? 15? I don't see him with the trainer.
That's a good call. I haven't. He went out with an ankle injury, it looked to be, or lower leg injury. Earlier in this half, he's had a sensational game for the Columbia defense. But right now, the offense on the field for Columbia at midfield. They start first and 10, 7:43 to go in the game. Hand off to Callum. Callum jumps back inside after a gain of 1, and that will be about it. Nice job by the front for Lee.
Yeah, a little bit of change defensively. They put Singletary on Bell down here on this side. That took him off the safety spot, put him down at corner on first down. So that's a little like we talked about the game in a game. That's what they were a little bit worried about, but they felt pretty good about the matchup.
Well, the star of this game, receiving-wise, has been Trey Tolliver, the freshman. He's on the far side, the left side of Jordan Smith. Split way out. 4 wide receiver set on 2nd and 9. Smith rolls left now. Looking downfield. Has a receiver, lofts it up, and it's incomplete. Broken up.
Yeah, that was
Robert Simmons there to break that pass up, and a touch pass by Smith.
Yeah, Simmons been out. He's been hurt. Just got back, I want to believe, this week. And this might be his first real significant action right there. Really good player. Had been out for a few weeks. Just got him back.
They've had to put him at linebacker a bit because of some other injuries as well. So got the play done there. As they have a good defense. There are a lot of the good players on that defensive side of the football for the Generals. Brings up a 3rd down and long 9. Maybe it's even 10. right around midfield. 4 wide receiver set. Here's the snap for Smith. Some push for Lee. Smith escapes a sack, escapes another sack for a moment, but now he's brought down. He can't get out of it. Back near the 40-yard line, and Smith all of a sudden is down on the field. Let's hope that's just a cramp. Let's really hope that's just a cramp. He's in a lot of pain down there, Coach.
I can't.
Now, cramps hurt. But he's at the 38-yard line, right near his sideline. Jordan Smith has been sensational here in the second half. Big-time quarterback from Columbia on the ground. His teammates looking at him. He escaped one sack somehow with a spin move, and then tried to escape another. Couldn't keep his feet, and brought down around the 40-yard line.
Yeah, it's quiet.
It's quiet here in the backyard.
Man. That's the heart and soul of their guys right there, man.
Well, once again, too, I brought this up earlier. I mean, this is unfortunate irony, but he didn't make it through the last 2 league games.
Right.
He got hurt in both of those games. And here we are again, hoping that it's a cramp for Jordan Smith.
I don't think so. I don't know. I hope it's, like we said, I hope it's nothing serious, but he has not moved too much. The trainer's sort of looking at him a little bit. Everybody on the sideline sort of sitting down, holding their breath a little bit right here. This young man is so explosive. Wait, he's getting up. See, we get him moving around.
All right, so he's getting up, but
he's getting a little assisted,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cade Jackson, the backup quarterback, is warming up for Columbia.
And he's played a little bit, too, so it's not like they've got a kid that's never played in there, but I think he's going to be okay.
We saw him in the opener.
I think he might be just a little bit nervous on that one. You know, sometimes you get a little bit nervous, but I think he seems to be moving pretty good.
Yeah, he sits down on the training table, but he's been walking off under his own power for the most part with a bit of a limp. I think you're right, though. I don't think it is a cramp because they're not trying to work that thing out. They're taking a look at the left ankle, it looks like, of Jordan Smith.
Yeah.
We'll keep you posted or at least keep an eye on him. You know, get injury reports from the high school sideline, but keep an eye on Jordan Smith.
And then I'm trying to look at Jaden Dunn, and he's sitting on the bench right here in front of us with his helmet on. But I don't see him moving around doing anything either. So, again, this is going to be a great finish for us, Brent. 6:33 to go.
Jaden Dunn, by the way, has a wrap of ice around that left knee, and he is not going to end up back in the football.
No, he's
you
done.
You can tell that. So now a punt for Columbia. They get the snap, and it's a pretty good punt. Takes a bounce around the 40-yard line, maybe the 38-yard line of Lee, and that's where it's touched down. We'll see where they mark it. But Lee takes over. 21-21 is our score after a big-time scare in this game moments ago for Columbia High School. And that's not just for tonight. That's for the rest of this season, which has been an undefeated season. A big ranking in the state of Florida. One of the best teams in Northeast Florida, if not the best team in Northeast Florida. And everybody keeping an eye on that sideline and the training table because Jordan Smith is getting looked at after being down on the field for a couple of minutes just a moment ago.
Man, we got to have a good finish tonight.
But here we go. For tonight, for this game, there's 6:20 to go. 21-21 from their own 36. Zara looks over to the sideline. He has Doles in the backfield with him. 3 receivers squeezed on the near side of the field. Option to Doles. Doles has some room. Cuts back now. Across the 40-yard line and out to maybe the 42, 43. Good first down gain for Lee.
Yeah, a little speed option there. That's been a good play for him. But good positive first 5 yards. Got back to running it a little bit.
Outside of the one touchdown play where Zara went pretty much untouched moments ago, the Columbia defense has been dominant in the second half.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. They bring in the big package, it looks like here. Might get a little bit of running the clock and pound the ball at him right here in this thing.
Zaire Lee back there with Cole Zara. 2nd and 4 from the 42. And now we have a penalty, and it looked like some movement.
Yep.
You know, it's been a pretty clean game overall from a lineup standpoint and false starts and delay again. We've had a couple, but overall, pretty clean game.
Jordan Smith running sprints on the sideline. That's got to be a good Good start for them, man.
Yeah, I think that's a
good sign.
Very good sign. I mean, literally running on the sideline. So for all the Columbia folks, and I know there's a lot of you checking us out on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, star quarterback for the Tigers is trying to work that injury out. Lower left leg it looks to be, but he was just sprinting on the sideline moments ago. Meanwhile, 2nd and 9 for Columbia. They hand it up the middle and get a couple of yards, a push just across the 40 perhaps, but the Tigers defense stiffens up.
Yeah, DeSavion Lee in there in that linebacker spot has a good tackle and overfield. So it was a big 3rd down, 3rd and 5, just under 5 minutes.
Meanwhile, for you Columbia folks, while Jordan Smith tests that leg out and now sits back on the training table, Cade Jackson, the backup quarterback, right in front of us, is warming up with a helmet on, so he continues to do that. Well, we'll keep you posted on what's happening on the Columbia sideline. We're inside 5 minutes to go. It's tied up at 21. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week. 3rd and 6 from the 40-yard line for Lee. Trips to the left. A receiver to the right, actually 2. Empty backfield for Zara. Zara gets the snap, looks right, throws down the field, and it is incomplete along the sideline. It'll bring up a 4th down for the Lee Generals.
Yeah, that looked like 32 in coverage. Jerome Fulton. Pretty good coverage right there. That was a big 4th down. They got to watch the fakes. They got to watch the fake here. And you got to stay off the kicker.
So it's 4th and 6 from the 40-yard line. Jai Robinson's done a nice job kicking. They have had a moment or two where that snap has been a bit scary.
Yes.
So keep an eye on that.
He does a good job of catching it and getting it off.
Lenadrick Bradley back to receive the punt at about the 34-yard line. Snap is okay. Robinson gets the kick, and it's a good one. Bell now back there around the 25 has it. Makes a guy miss 34-yard line, and that's where Columbia will begin. And who comes out to play quarterback is the big question. Jordan Smith has his helmet, jogging out, and Jordan Smith's back into the game after that scare on the last possession.
Boy, Robinson took his time on that punt. I thought they were going to block that. He almost 3-stepped on that thing.
At the end of the day, heck of a punt, though.
Yes, sir. He's done good, done well, punting the ball.
So here's the deal now. 4:11 to go in the game, 21-21. 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line for the Columbia Tigers. They've dominated the second half. Game of the week on ESPN 690. It's a dandy. Smith pulls the ball back in, has a receiver left, and it's incomplete to Tolliver.
Boy, he don't drop many of those, Brent.
That's a drop, maybe a breakup. Someone might have got a hand in there right at the end, but that was close. And if that was caught, Tolliver might have been gone.
Yeah, that was a good ball. Put a lot on it. Shows you he's got his arm strength. We know about his arm strength, but it shows you his leg's good. Got a big one down in Oakley. Manor in 21-7. Did you see that?
I did.
Come across?
21-7 over
half.
Oakley.
Yes.
Credit Isaiah Jones once again with the breakup on the last play. 2nd down from the 35-yard line for Columbia. 4:06, clock stopped. Smith looks right. Now flush left. On his feet, looks downfield, throws back over the middle and incomplete. We have a flag down late.
Yeah, I think that's a roughing the passer call. Or hitting him out of bounds.
Smith was on his way out of bounds, but really hard to see from here just how much he might have been hit. There's only 2 penalties here, right? It's either roughing or a holding somewhere in there.
Right. Unless you got an illegal man downfield.
Oh, that's a good call. Now Smith's pointing and saying it's against Lee. And that is going to be a roughing the passer. A big penalty. All the way out to the 44-yard line.
And the most important is the 1st down. 1st down or no?
It should be awfully close.
Well, if it was 1st and 10 and they got a 5-yard penalty and then they got a 15-yard penalty. Yep, they're moving it.
Yeah, they did.
Going to be an exciting finish here now.
Inside 4 minutes to go. 21-21's our score. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, our Action Sports Jacks game of the week. Ball sits at almost the 45-yard line in Columbia territory. Jordan Smith takes the snap. Hands off to Callum. Callum Maybe he lost a yard. Nice play by the defensive front of Lee.
That's our punter, Jai Robinson, in there making that tackle right there.
He's had himself a nice game.
Playing good. They've sort of shut that little rundown inside right there.
The clock continues to tick.
You got to get the ball out on the perimeter, get it out a little bit, get something moving.
3:35 and counting. Now 2nd and 11 after the loss of 1. 3 receivers right, 1 left for Jordan Smith. Smith gets the snap. Looks right. Doesn't like what he sees. Now goes left. Heading to the sideline. Gets tripped up, stays on his feet, and crosses midfield and out of bounds. The legs are working for Jordan Smith.
Again, I think he fell down, too. I know he sort of went down a little and tripped, but it looks like he got to get him some new cleats.
Well, he picks up 6 yards. The ball's at the 49-yard line. They'll actually make it 3rd and 5. Could be 4-down territory here. Inside 3 minutes to go. We're tied at 21 here in the backyard. Our game of the week. 3 receivers right, 1 left. Jordan Smith gets the snap. Now looks downfield. Now slides in the pocket. Almost falls down. Might have been a face mask. Don't see a flag. Now I do see a flag. And he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. But I think Lee is going to get whistled for a face mask.
Yeah,
here.
I do too, the way his head jerked on that.
Unfortunate for Lee, too. It's just one of those deals where you're trying to bring this guy down. He won't go down. And the hand might have got right up there at the helmet.
I don't know. I can't see what they're doing.
Yeah, I think this is definitely a face mask.
They're pointing that way. He did jerk his head, and again, you can't. And this guy threw from way over here.
He threw from the Columbia sideline. I think he got some help. But I think he's right.
Yeah, I think he's right, too. Either that or you got a blow to the head, like when the guy was coming in with the arm.
Yeah, we're talking about it now, right around midfield with the officials.
They've waved a few of these off tonight now.
They have. And keep in mind now, if there is no penalty, it's 4th and 5 from midfield. 2:29 to go, tie game at 21. So it's an important decision. And they do call the penalty, so that will march off some more yardage. Free yardage for Columbia. All the way down to the 35-yard line of Lee, and that puts them in prime position now with 2.5 minutes to play. Big penalty. 2 face mask penalties here on this drive, really aiding Columbia.
2.5 minutes to go. Again, they do have a kicker now, so it's not like they have to score the touchdown.
All right, the clock's still rolling. 2:20 to go, 1st and 10. Smith flips it right to Bradley. Somehow catches it, but he's behind the line of scrimmage. Eludes 1 tackler, 2 tacklers, near sideline and out of bounds.
Man, that was an exciting 5-yard game.
I don't even know if he got 5, but you're right about the exciting part. The guys are slipping all over the field. There's some dirt spots, but you might be right about the cleats, at least not having the right ones.
Well, again, the inside receiver in the trips never got the call. He was just standing there.
You have better eyes than me. That was 5 yards, so maybe 6. 2nd and 4 from the 29. Inside a minute 45 to go now. Smith holds the football and tried to get it to Bradley on the screen. Couldn't do so. Incomplete. And now a flag late. Just came in seconds after the play. Could this be ineligible, or is it unsportsmanlike?
He's pointing to Lee.
Too many flags on this final drive in a 21-21 game.
I don't know what.
1:41 to go. We're all tied up in our Action Sports Jacks game of the week on ESPN 690. Sets up for a fantastic finish, but has been marred a little bit on this final drive by penalties. 2 face mask penalties against
that's on Lee.
And now I think...
I don't know what's going on.
They'll march off some more free yards in a moment.
Everybody at home feels my pain.
Talking to O.J. Small now on the sideline, trying to sort this out.
It was the umpire that threw it, and he threw it pretty much right away, but that's on Columbia. They must have ineligible.
It is ineligible.
Yeah. So that's going to be a 5-yard penalty.
What's all the explaining? Maybe decline it?
Wants to make sure the ball went past the line of scrimmage, number one, because the ball has to go past the line of scrimmage, which we know it did. Yeah. just so they know what it is.
All right, 2nd and 10. 35-yard line. Here we go. 21-21. 1:41 to go in the game. Bradley joins Smith in the backfield. They hand it to him, but it's stuffed right up the middle. Lee read it all the way. Nothing doing for Columbia, and it brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, and Lee's taking a timeout here to try to salvage a little bit of clock. Again, it's a game that was flowing really smooth. Got a little bitty ticky going on
we
here.
got some choppiness here now at the end, but both teams scratching and clawing.
Man, we might get us a second overtime game in a row tonight. Last week was a great finish for us, and now this week may be another great finish.
So we have a timeout on the field with 90 seconds to play in the football game. Tied 21-21 here in the backyard. If you're just joining us, thanks for checking it out on all the social media platforms and on ESPN 690. You can see the video on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and Twitch. This game was 13-0 at halftime in favor of Lee. Then a monster third quarter by Columbia. They scored 21 unanswered into the 4th. And Cole Zara ran for 43 yards to tie it up with a 2-point conversion as well. And it's 21-21. That's where we sit. It's been that way for the last 7 minutes. And we've got a fantastic finish here in the backyard on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan, thanks for hanging out with us here on a Friday night. Beautiful night in Northeast Florida.
Yeah, it's turned out a great football night. Everybody's sort of into this one, which started out as a little sloppy, a little not a very positive for Columbia. It's turned into a really good football game.
Well, here we go. 3rd down and a long 10, maybe 11 from the 36-yard line for Jordan Smith. 4 wide receivers. Callum's in the backfield. 90 seconds to play, all tied up. Smith being pressured, flush left, trying to stay on his feet. Escapes a tackle, now turns upfield and will run out of bounds. Hit on his way out of bounds. And he'll pick up some. Will it be enough to go for it on 4th down? I would think so.
Yeah, I think they'll go for it because Lee really hasn't done anything throwing the ball tonight. And so it depends on it. Looks like it's going to probably be about 4th and 6-ish. I'd call it 6, long 5. 4th and 6. Too far to kick it, I'm sure.
I think Brian Allen wants to talk about it here. So 4th and 5 is the call.
It looks like what's about the 30-yard line?
Yep. They have to get to the 25. 1:21 to go. 21's all over the board. 1:21 to go. 21 for Lee. 21 for Columbia. And a 4th and 5 upcoming from the 30-yard line of Lee for the Tigers. They have a chance to get a first down. If they do that, they really have a chance to melt the clock down, kick a field goal, or go in for a score and really finish this game in walk-off style like we had last week at the Graveyard.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan here. What do you like? You were so good last week at calling the plays. What are you calling here on a 4th and 5?
Well, the way they've been bringing the pressure and disguising the pressure, I think they're going to probably bring one blitzer from the boundary up top. I would work something quick out here to get it to Bradley or to get it to Bell. Maybe a little 5-yard out route, keep him in tight, let Bradley run the seam up there in case they try to roll and bring the extra blitzer. You need 5 yards. You just got to get to the hole and sit.
All right, 81 seconds to go. 21's on that board, all tied up. Here in the backyard, 4th and 5 from the 30-yard line. Oh, this is fun. Undefeated Columbia. Lee has won 3 out of 4 against the Tigers. Big district matchup. Smith gets the snap. The left-handed quarterback has some time now trying to elude defenders. Has a receiver. It's caught right around the 30, but I don't think that's going to be a first down. Did he get to the 25-yard line? It's close.
Yep, he gave it to him.
They did give it to him. What a play by Bradley to be able to get physical after the catch and fall forward across that first down marker.
Yeah, that was a good job. Smith had to elude the rush. They brought it from the boundary. He sort of moved around, and he got a nice rope. Nice job at getting the first down, extending his body.
So here we go. Now we roll up on it. 60 seconds to play. 1st and 10 from the 25. I mean, that nose of the football was right at the marker, but they didn't measure, so it was clearly a first down. 3 receivers left. Smith, left-handed quarterback, shotgun. Fakes it to Callum, now throws it right, has it complete, just a couple of yards on the right side of the line of scrimmage. And now Brian Allen will call a timeout with 38 seconds to go.
And they'll have one more just in case they get it in the middle of the field to hold it for the field goal. Looks like
you just got to keep it in Jordan Smith's hands.
Yeah.
That was a nice, safe pass there.
Yeah.
The middle of the field has been problematic at times. He had a ball picked off.
Right.
Had a couple others that maybe could have been picked off.
Well,
But they're also good for explosive plays, too.
the way they brought the pressure on that, they're sort of bringing the inside linebacker. And if you could take number 3 to the inside linebacker and then sit number 2 on a quick slant or even a little skinny post, I think you got him on that. So again, I think all they're trying to do, I know they want to score a touchdown. You don't want to put it in the kicker's hand because they've been erratic on the snap and the hold tonight. Or we wouldn't be in this situation probably.
Zach Williams is the kicker. But right now the ball sits on the 22-yard line. They don't want a 39 or 40-yard
right,
goal, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Second
definitely.
and 7, 38 seconds to go. Should be another timeout in Brian Allen's pocket.
Should have one more, but you may want to have to hold that one.
Absolutely.
You probably should have gone 2 plays here.
Trips to the left, Callum in the backfield. This place starts getting loud in the backyard. The Columbia folks made the trip and on their feet. Smith gets the pass. Shotgun snap, and he's got a receiver
he
down
fumbled.
inside the 10. It's the ball on the ground. It is. There's also a Lee Generals recovery. They come away with a big turnover. After what should have been and would have been field goal range, the Lee Generals come away with a forced fumble and a recovery.
Wow.
That looked
That's
like
all I
Robert
can say.
Simmons, by the way, coming up with that football for Lee.
Boy, that was a nice pass ball. You just got to catch it, fall down. I know you're trying to fight to get in the end zone. You just got to catch it and fall down right there. Bradley's had a tough night holding on. That's the second fumble inside the 20.
What a change of the story that was about to take place here in the backyard. 30 seconds to play in the football game. Columbia down 13 at halftime, scored 21 unanswered. Lee responds to tie the football game up, and Columbia was about to win this thing.
But man, that is wild right there, Brent. Wild. It's been a crazy game, but it's been exciting for us, man. This is what we get. We're going unless something crazy here happens, we're going to get free football again 2 weeks in a row.
And O.J. Small says, let's go to overtime.
Let's go to overtime.
We'll take that. And we will, too. Let's take a quick timeout. When we come back, our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week goes to overtime for a second consecutive week. Oh, it was fun in the graveyard last week. It's just as fun in the backyard here today. Thanks for checking us out on ESPN 690. Overtime action between Columbia and Lee coming up next, all tied up at 21.
Golick and Wingo.
I think my jersey was one of the top-selling jerseys around the world, and I didn't make $1 from it, but nor did I want to.
I respect Tim Tebow. I respect his opinion. I love his passion. I just could not disagree with it more.
Golick and Wingo, weekdays at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
You're listening to the ESPN 690 High School Football Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Now, back to the action. Here's Brent Martineau.
Oh, this is fun here in the backyard at Lee High School. We're in overtime for a second straight week. Last week it was a beauty. Raines beat Sandalwood on a walk-off win, 2-point conversion, 22-21. Well, this one's been back and forth. Lee, all the momentum in the first half, 13-0 lead. Then all the momentum went to Columbia in that third quarter. They got back in the game. They tied the football game up. They actually took the lead, 21-13, trying to stay undefeated. And here in this big district matchup, well then, Cole Zara and Lee runs it in from 43 yards out. 2-point conversion good, 21-21. And just at the end of this one, inside a minute to go, Jordan Smith and Columbia look like they'll at least be in position to try to kick a game-winning field goal. They make a big pass play. Adric Bradley fumbles on the play, forced fumble, and it's recovered by Lee. And that preserves the game and sends it to overtime. Here we are. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan. You know the rules. Tell them the rules, Coach.
All right, so the rule on overtime, they're going to do the coin toss. The winner of the coin toss can take the ball first or play defense. The ball goes on the 10-yard line. It's basically 4 plays from the 10. And, again, there's no rule where you got to go for 2 after so many. You could kick it. We could be here all night, which would be sort of fun. But you do get a chance if you take the play defense, the other team gets the ball, picks the side, which side they want to go to. Both of them, they've scored on both sides, both teams, so I don't think that's any advantage. No win tonight, so no advantage there. But the advantage goes to Columbia in the kicking game, I think, here, because a field goal can win it. And, again, going for 2 is big, too, because going for 2 forces the other team to go for 2.
Yeah.
So everybody get a shot. It's not first team to score. We'll see. They're tossing it right now, and we'll see what we get here.
That's been a lot of fun, and back and forth, and hats off to the resiliency by both teams, because they could have hung their head a couple of times in this one, and they did not do so. Jordan Smith, by the way, went out of this game, actually never really missed a play.
Right.
But looked like he was down for a couple of minutes. That looked like it could be serious. Fortunately for Columbia, fortunately for him, the star quarterback for the Tigers, he's doing just fine. He's had himself a heck of a second half, and he sits with his helmet on the ground and on a knee around the 33-yard line, waiting to see if they win the coin flip or will get the ball first or second here in overtime.
Well, you know, one of the key things in the game is when Jaden Dunn went out, the linebacker for Columbia. I don't think Lee got a first down up to that point, and then they had the penalty, and then the very next play, which would have been his second play that he was out, he breaks the long run. Caleb Zaire breaks the long run and puts him up, and then he gets the 2-point conversion, which he probably could have been there for the 2-point conversion too. So again, injuries are playing a part in the game, and I'll tell you what, it's been fun though, man. Watching 2 teams that know each other, battle each other, go at it back and forth, back and forth.
Looks like Columbia will get the football first in overtime, and that took a little bit, so maybe they forgot the quarter.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they want to make sure they know each team gets a timeout. Yeah. You know, everybody gets a timeout. They don't need to change. It's the box. It's 1st and 10. Columbia's going first. If they're tied after the second one, they just flip it again, and then Columbia plays defense and Lee goes on offense. So that's how they sort of do it. They don't coin flip except on the third one. I believe they coin flip again on the third one.
Well, we'll see if we get that far. Here in overtime, Action Sports Jack's Game of the Week on ESPN 690. Friendly reminder, we'll have the Friday Night Blitz and all the highlights from around the area coming up tonight, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30. Appreciate you checking it out. This is on all our social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube. Check out our Action Sports Jack's channel on YouTube. Also on Twitter, at Brent A.S. Jacks. And you can hear it on your radio dial and on the stream, ESPN690.com. So here we go for the 10-yard line. Jordan Smith, fantastic second half, leading his Columbia Tigers back. Now he tries to go for a win. They get the ball first. Smith rolls left, looking at the end zone, lobs it up to Bradley, and just overthrows him. Incomplete.
Yeah, they had a little rub play. I wouldn't say pick play, but they had a little bit of a rub play, and he had him. He just got flushed a little bit right there. Everybody's running that 2x2, running the third guy in motion with the back set to it, get the 4 receivers and rolling to it.
I like the fact they went back to Bradley. He had the fumble. Yeah. And they say, you know what? We're coming right back at you.
All right, second down. Again, Jordan's been really good with his feet in the second half, so don't lose that dimension. Even though he got nicked a little bit, been really good with his feet.
Yeah, second half, he's been unbelievable. Second down. Callum next to him on the left hip. 2 receivers right, 2 left. From the 10 here in overtime. They fake the handoff. They throw the fade right, and that's overthrown. Good defense, well defended, incomplete, brings up third down.
Yeah, I actually like that call, but the corner up top had that snuffed out right there, trying to get the ball to Tolliver, the one-on-one battle. So again, it's 3rd and 10. Again, it's big. You go pass on the first down, pass on the second down. Got to get something to get your quarterback moving around. And Lee's done a good job. They brought pressure on first down, didn't bring pressure on second down.
All right, so here we go. 21-21 in overtime. Third down for Columbia. Hands on his hips for Jordan Smith as he gets the call from the sideline. 3 receivers to the left side. Right at the 10. Marquez Bell off to the right, trying to get the call. Callum in the backfield on the right hip of Smith. The left-handed quarterback making sure everything's all set on 3rd down and 10. Gets a snap. Now being flushed and sacked back at the 20-yard line as he lost his footing once again. And this will go back to the 20. What a big play by the Lee Generals. Got a little help from the turf. Smith's been struggling with his feet, all day. And now it's going to be a 4th down, and that will set up a more difficult field goal.
Yeah, it looks like about 37-yard field goal right here. And again, Lee came that time. They disguised their pressure, and they came and he didn't. They just let the linebacker run through the gap. They disguised it on this side, but that was a really good job on their side.
Give a lot of credit to the Lee Generals. They've come back to tie the football game. Resilient at the end of the game, forcing a fumble. And now they force a 36-yard field goal attempt from Zach Williams, the junior. They line it up. Right-footed kicker, and now we've got a timeout. Did we get a delay a game?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And they did get a delay a game. That will back it up 5 more yards. Not the first time that's happened in this football game. There is no play clock. So instead, the officials hold up their hand when they get to 10 seconds.
Yep.
And it just wasn't recognized. So now Williams is back on his 31 of Lee. 41-yard attempt upcoming. We're in overtime, tied at 21. First possession for Columbia, just trying to get 3 points. They also have to be careful of a block. Ready for the snap. The snap, the hold, the kick is up and
it hit the crossbar.
Crossbar and out. No good.
5 yards, man. The delay of game. He makes that without the delay of game penalty.
So the Lee sideline goes nuts, and now they've got a chance to win the football game down the other end. It was a really good kick by Williams.
Yeah, really good.
He somehow got it through. There was some pressure up front,
A lot of pressure up front, but again, that delay of game penalty, he makes that. That ball hit the crossbar right there. Now, again, what do? Lee, go out, you send your kicker out, kick it, win it right here, or you take a couple shots.
Wow, they don't have a lot of confidence in that kicking game.
Well, yeah, I don't know why they're going down there. They stay down on this end.
I thought they did.
They don't flip sides. That's what I was wondering.
Get some wind sprints in.
They're trying to get loose and get moved around a little bit. But, man, I'll tell you what, that penalty has been crazy. Been crazy. I'll be like Austin hitting your camera and everything on the thing.
So here we are now. Lee has a chance to win the football game with a field goal score of any kind. The Generals would win. They led 13-0, then trailed 21-13. We're in overtime right now in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week.
Derek. Oh. All right, so they're going to probably just run the power right there in that what I call ball buster set, but they're in ball buster right here.
Yeah, that in that formation, Zara back there and Zaire Lee, who's been tough to bring down. They probably just give it to him. So here we go from the 10. Now they look over to the sideline.
So they got a big power set in there.
Zara gets a snap. Gives it to Lee. Lee running right. Has a few yards. Down inside the 5.
Woo!
Not in the end zone. Not in the end zone. Down around the 4 is where they'll mark it.
They're just going to run it again.
Well, they have.
Same formation. They got to get somebody up in that gap over there. That's what the 2-point play was.
No reason to get tricky here.
No.
Now 2nd and goal from the 4. Lee in the back. They hand it to Lee again. He's tripped up. Nice play coming off the edge.
Oh, man, is that going to be close? We got with 3rd down and short now.
Short of the goal line. We'll see where they mark it. There's a lot of bodies down there. I think it's at the 1. So we'll bring up a 3rd and goal for the 1 and for the win. Here's the snap. They give it to Lee. Lee is met at the line of scrimmage.
He's not
and
in.
dropped backwards
That's
by
not
Columbia.
In. Wow.
He is denied by the Tigers. What a stand for the defense. And now what do you do if you're O.J. Small? 4th down from the 2.
You got to kick it.
And they bring in Derek Champagne.
Yeah, you got to kick it.
The sophomore.
You got to kick because you don't lose. If you kick, you go for it, you lose. You got to kick this. So if he misses it, he misses it. You go again. If he doesn't miss it, you win.
Oh, we could have a walk-off win on the way for Lee, but before that, we get a timeout on the field. The ball is spotted at about the 1-yard line, maybe the 2. This is going to be a short field goal attempt.
Well, this wasn't as fast as last week's overtime game, you know what I mean? But I tell you what, it's been exciting. He got about 7 on the first down, no gain on second down, and I don't think he got anything on third down, maybe 1. So again, you've got to kick it because you can't lose either way. So I think you got to take the shot. They could fake it off this. There's a lot of things you do because you don't lose. You know, they're going to be ganging up to block it. You could technically pull it if it depends on who your holder is. If it's a really good player.
I think you got to give it to him, Coach. Let him try it. The sophomore kicker, Derek Champagne. Let's see if he can get it done. Or are they coming back out with their offense? Oh, they are. They're coming back out with their offense.
They're going to go. Look for a little boot. Look for a little boot off this.
4th down and a yard. 4th and goal for the win.
Or we go to the second overtime. So, again, they're either going to hit it up in there or we're going to get – oh, look who's a quarterback. They got a different quarterback.
Kobe Bates in
Kobe
there,
Bates is going to take outside sweep.
And Bates keeps it. Now he cuts inside. He flips into the end zone. And the Lee Generals walk it off in the backyard. Wow. They beat the Columbia Tigers 27-21. Mayhem in the backyard as the Lee Generals get it done. Unbelievable football game. Bates in at quarterback, and he wins it for Lee.
Yeah, so that was the changer. And, again, he's the Wildcat guy. And you knew with the change, Brett, I knew with the change he was keeping the ball, whether he was running at that side or running outside. But, again, it was a really great football game and 2 really good teams and sort of erases what happened last week to Lee losing to Rebolt, puts them in the district driver's seat now, and unbelievable finish right there for this game. This has been great, Brent. Enjoyed this.
Unbelievable game. The resiliency of both teams. Again, Columbia down 13 points at halftime. They storm back, 21 unanswered, but Lee doesn't give in. They come back, score a touchdown, 2-point conversion to tie it. They hold off a late effort by Columbia by forcing a fumble late in regulation. Then they deny Columbia and Jordan Smith on the first possession of overtime. And how about the call from O.J. Small to be able to go for it on 4th and goal? So that's not a no-brainer. I mean, football says go kick it from 20
but
yards
again,
away,
remember
right?
we talked about the kicking game not being as good as it's been. And so, again, you can't lose on that situation, right there. You can't lose on the call. But I like the call changing the quarterback. But we knew up here that Colby was going to be running that thing in, and he ran it in pretty much untouched. Really good job by those guys. The 2 power backs, 90 was in there, Calvin Sinclair, and number 5 was the other power back, was Ralph Mincy, the defensive end, committed to Ohio. So they got 2 monster big power guys in there. So, man, that was a great call. Really good win, both sides. These guys may be playing again in about 5 weeks.
Yeah, we could see it again. We saw it last year when they split. Remember, Columbia won in the regular season. Lee won in the postseason.
Yes.
Lee has now won 4 out of 5 against the Columbia Tigers. What a football game. Back-to-back weeks. Congratulations to both teams. Thanks for giving us some fun and entertainment on a Friday night on our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week on ESPN 690. 27-21 in the backyard here at home. Lee gets it done over Columbia. We'll talk more about it when we come back on the Action Sports Jacks postgame show on ESPN 690.
WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690,
a Cox Media Group station.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690, Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio.
What's good, Stephen A?
If you're a New York Jets fan, let's just say this. Damn, you can't catch a break. I mean, the New York Jets, when's the last time they've been relevant?
Catch Stephen A. weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Honda of the Avenues is the Honda Giant with close to 700 new Hondas and quality pre-owned vehicles and award-winning service department. Jacksonville's car buyers have options and they want your car shopping experience to be fast, fun, and hassle-free. That's what you'll get on every visit, every time. Put Honda of the Avenues to the test and let them show you a fresh new approach to car shopping at Honda of the Avenues, online at HondaoftheAvenues.com. The Honda Giant.
WOPD Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station.
But Mr. Chubby's has a full menu. Parents, kids, and sports teams, this is made for you. The American Dream Special. Burgers, fries, and a famous Mr. Chubby shake for just $12.99. The American Dream Special. I suggest throwing in some wings, too, especially the Maple Cajun. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings.
The final whistle has blown, and the game is over. We're breaking it all down on the High School Football Game of the Week postgame show. Here's Brent Martineau.
Hey, that was flat out awesome. Good football game between 2 really good football teams, coached by 2 really good football coaches and 2 good men, Brian Allen, O.J. Small. They've got their teams playing well, and there's something about this game. There is just something about this Columbia-Lee rivalry that has taken place over the last 2.5 seasons especially. And here we go again in overtime. Lee gets it done in our Action Sports Jacks Game of the Week, 27-21 with a walk-off win for the Lee Generals when Kobe Bates scores on a 4th and goal play in the extra session. Brent Martineau, Kevin Sullivan here to put a bow on this game. It was so much fun. Back-to-back weeks, it's been great. And this is the time, man. This is the time when high school football is at its best,
yes,
right?
sir.
It kind of feels like that. This felt like a playoff game. And you just said it moments ago before we went to break. We might see these guys again.
Yeah, might see it again. Again, both kids played hard. Columbia really didn't show up in the first half as far as offensively what we thought they'd do. They did show up in the second half. Again, you got the 1 turnover there that changes the whole complexity of the game. And Linderick Bradley's going to be kicking himself on that. But, son, you guys are going to be meeting again. You're going to get in the playoffs. You got a deep run. Hey, you're going to have speed bumps along the way. You got to just come back, get working. I think the injuries caught him tonight a little bit. Might have caught up with him a little bit tonight.
First loss of the year for Columbia and a big district win now for Lee. And we'll see how this shakes out the rest of the way. There's still a lot to be determined here in the 2019 football season. But right now, we have to go to our drive of the game, our Lusab Honda of the Avenues drive of the game. Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. And I guess the overtime is a sensible one. We did that last week, I believe.
Right.
But I also want to go back to, actually, I think the drive of the game coach, Cole Zara. He got aided by a penalty to set him up on the 43-yard line. And remember, all the momentum at the time was with Columbia. They couldn't do anything on offense. They had just relinquished a 13-0 lead. And the response by Zara and Lee to scamper in from 43 yards out. And it will be a play that will be debated in Columbia County, I think, over the next, couple of days and maybe even beyond. Because he lost the football right at the goal line. And we'll see the replay and see some of the highlights tonight on the Friday Night Blitz. I think he was in the end zone.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Finished off the play. But to me, that was the drive of the game. And it was that big one play by Cole Zara to get them back in the game. They added the 2-point conversion to tie it up and eventually send it into overtime. That play was in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Again, remember, but before that bloop kickoff gave him real good field position. And then they got the penalty, and then, boom, he took it in and scored. But that was also the first series Jaden Dunn, the linebacker, was out, too. So, again, it was a tremendous game, well fought, really cleanly played for the most part. Hats off to both coaches. Really enjoy calling this one tonight. Last 2 weeks, man. Hopefully it keeps it going, but you'll be on your own without me next week.
Yeah, that's right. You got to go somewhere next week. Hopefully we continue this stretch of good games, and then you'll be back with us, and we're getting deeper and deeper into the season. This felt like a playoff game tonight. Sir. We're getting closer and closer to the playoffs. 27-21. Lee gets it done. A big thanks to Mr. Chubby's Wings, our pregame show sponsor. 2 locations, the West Side and in Fleming Island. Chub it up at the place to be, Mr. Chubby's Wings. Great place to watch some football all weekend long. Our Baker Sports Coach of the Week was Tom McPherson from Orange Park. Maybe this week it could be O.J. Small.
It could be.
We determine that on Tuesday. Check out Action Sports Jacks from 3 to 6, Monday through Friday, and we'll have our Baker Sports Coach of the Week. on Tuesday. Baker Sports will get you ready for your big game, looking good so you can play good. Play ball with your team experts at Baker Sports. And our keys to the game and drive to the game brought to you by Lou Saab Honda of the Avenues, Jacksonville's Honda Giant, the Honda dealer that makes you happy. What a fun one here today.
Good one tonight.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We appreciate you watching on the video platforms and also listening on ESPN 690 and ESPN690.com. Thanks to Laura Burton once again for stats. Thanks to Justin Kuzart for hanging out on a Friday night and producing this one. And thanks to Kevin Sullivan for joining us once again here in the booth or the classroom here in the backyard.
Classroom.
What a game in overtime again. Our Action Sports Jacks game of the week goes to the Lee Generals. They win it 27-21 over the Columbia Tigers. Can't wait for next week. Thanks for listening, everybody. I'm Brent Martin. We'll see you tonight on the Friday Night Blitz, 10:30 on Fox 30, 11:20 on CBS 47 and Fox 30.
Thanks for listening to ESPN 690's High School Football Game of the Week. Listen weekdays from 3 to 6 p.m. for Action Sports Jacks with Brent Martineau and Austin Lane.
This is what matters.